Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Saturday, May 27th, 2023, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App, $ ORIONNWSF, or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got WWE Night of Champions 2023, live reactions and a watch party. We're going to be starting up here in about 20 minutes. Yes, I know it's incredibly early on a Saturday morning, but when you are dedicated to wrestling, you are dedicated to the WWE and AEW. Sometimes you got to make sacrifices. I have been up, though, for the last 4 hours. I've even got a chance to take Paisley for a long 1 hour walk. We went on an adventure already. So I'm ready to go. I got things prepped. I decided to make this incredible thumb for you guys. I could have just, took something just off, WWE, or just finding, just a random photo. But I figured, you know what? If I end up, trying to make it my own and just trying to find the things that really mean something to me, and trying to find something that looks as good as this. I was going to say, damn, that one actually turned out pretty good. Better than the last one that I did. Of course, I could have had the Night of Champions logo a little bit bigger because it is the pay-per-view, but I didn't want to showcase over the W on the belt. We got a new one, and obviously I had to give the showcase with them with the belt because when AJ and fucking Seth have the belt, that's when things are good in WWE, okay? So one of them is going to get one of them's not, but whoever doesn't get it, if it is Seth that gets it, or maybe doesn't, there'll be something bigger in the storyline for him, I would assume. So if AJ gets it, maybe Seth can beat Roman or be in the mix with Roman and Cody and all this kind of the top tier guys that we have right now. But either way, I'm really going to be happy that they have something like this, because having Brock with 2 belts is a little ridiculous. So instead of dropping one, they had to create another one. But this one turned out good. I'm ready to go. And you know what? I was looking at the card, and, I'm very critical of wrestling. You guys know how I am. I keep it 100. I keep it honest, genuine, real. And that's why people subscribe to this channel. This is why people come here. And, they want to be able to hear the truth, even if it hurts a little bit, about their team, their players. I'll give it to you real. If my team sucks, you're going to know it. I'm going to let them know. I'm not going to be able to support something that we know it's not good. And just because you're just trying to, like when WWE, when we were in COVID, people were watching and acting like it was still good at that point. It wasn't. It was terrible. But you know what's not terrible? Segue into this fucking pay-per-view, WWE Night of Champions. This is the first card on WWE that I have seen in a very, very long time where there's a possibility that we might get not one match that's good tonight, not 2, not the traditional, if there's 7, maybe you'll have 3 good, 4 good, 1 or 2 that, are okay. And then one that's like, like bad, right? If you have 7, because usually that's going to, be where it goes. Half of the matches will be good. Others, 2 or so, or 3, depending on how many are left, will be okay. And then usually there's 1 or 2 that are like, blah, this sucks. Like we could have did without this. But when I'm looking at this card, and just looking at the visuals of it, this one looks, I know it's not going to hit 7 out of 7, but this is the first time that I've seen something where maybe 6 out of 7, because even some of the lower ones have athletic bodies, and you might be able to do something. Now, I'm not really digging the storyline right here with, Cody with the broken arm. We already know that the fans aren't going to give up on you. They chant your, song, they sing it. It doesn't matter where it goes. It may not be as big as like the Seth Rollins, but Cody's right there, right? So with this broken arm angle, I don't know if I'm really digging that. Obviously Brock Lesnar, I get it, right? We already know at some point Roman is going to drop the belt to somebody. Cody, Seth, Gunther, Walter, somebody is going to get an opportunity at some point or another, right? But this one right here actually looks pretty good to me. I just, I don't know how they're going to, with the arm thing. So we're not going to get a full strength Cody, and like, what kind of match are we going to get? What's the ending going to be like? Am I going to be pissed off? Like I look at this and it looks like, hey, this could be an 8 or a 9. This list could be good. This could be good, but what if the ending is kind of shaky? Then it might end up going down to like, an 8, or like a 7.5, where it could have been a lot better, but with this whole broken arm angle. But with all that being said, I am looking forward to watching this match. All right, let's go to match number 2. Okay, we got a little KO, Sami Zayn, we got Roman Reigns, and we got Solo. Okay, so with this particular matchup, we already know Jimmy J. We already know that there might be some. I am the real tribal chief. You already know at some point there's gonna be a little bit of a bloodline split. Maybe Roman drops the belt. Solo actually goes solo. Hell, it's in his name. And then Jimmy and Jay. Obviously one is on board. One is looking like that might be the person that helps Sammy and Kevin today. We'll see. But, the bloodline storyline, I know some people are tired of it. I know it's, Roman with the belt for, it seems like fucking 10 years now, right? I know it's going long, long, long. And we're kind of getting a little sick of it. We would like someone new to be a champ. But on the flip side, if you're looking at it, as far as writing and storyline building, it's some of the best that we've seen in the last 20 years. Yes, it's a little long, and they're trying to make Roman Reigns be the number one guy in the company of all time, because that's the only reason why you would stretch this out, so that way you can beat like the Hulk Hogan records and all the records of all the GOATs from before. So that way they have something that they can have a backbone on after Stone Cold and The Rock, that they have this era, and you'll remember it, because it's not just Roman Reigns having a goddamn belt for 20 years. It's also Solo and his come up. And then the Usos getting a level of pub that I don't think we would have thought, at this point in their careers. We knew that they were always up there with like New Day and a few others, kind of like veteran guys. And we know they're two of the best, all time. We already know those guys are amazing tag teams, and obviously a nice little faction that they got there with New Day. Big up to Big E. Hopefully he gets better. But, I see a lot of potential there, with the storyline. There's still a lot of questions to be answered. And the best part about the bloodline to me was Sami Zayn, because Sami Zayn actually got a chance to be able to show off his mic skills. He got a chance to be a part of being Usi, right? And we already knew that at some point, the blood is not blood. Yeah, you are not blood, so this is not going to last forever. But we did get some pretty cool moments, more memorable moments than I think we remember. Sammy with KO, against KO. They like each other. They're feuding. Now they're obviously tagging together. So, I know a lot of people can be critical about it, but I think we need to appreciate for what it is. But I do agree, if there's one thing that we could change or would want to change, is maybe having Roman drop the belt already. But again, they're trying to make him the best of all time. Otherwise, if they weren't, he would have dropped it already, or dropped one of the belts, and they wouldn't even have to create this fucking new one for Seth or AJ and then the future. So that's what, me reading in between the lines, I'm pretty sure that's what the angle they're going for. Or if MJF ends up coming over in 2024, would they do something of that nature to try to really get the ratings, with MJF and Roman Reigns, and MJF, is coming over from AEW, signing with WWE. So, they have a lot of things to kind of probably like ponder. And that's another reason why I imagine that they're going to have him hang on to it as long as possible, so that way they can wait to see MJF's contract. And if he does come to WWE, then they can implement him right away into the storyline and get maximum ratings from AEW and WWE fans, and also other just wrestling fans. But we'll see what happens tonight. There might be a little betrayal tonight. Oh, here we go. Here we go. We got the Nikola Jokic. All right, the Joker of WWE, the guy that's underappreciated, the guy that doesn't really look that he's that good. He's just a tall white guy, they said. Gunther, Walter, the Joker, Nikola Jokic. But we already know the Nuggets are going to be winning the championship more than likely. And, you already know, with this being a IC, it's only a matter of time. Yes, you got Cody. Yes, you got Seth. Yes, you got AJ and hopefully Randy Orton at some point. I pray, right? But he is Gunther, Walter. We already know he is going to be a world champion at some point. He probably is going to have to wait, because they have to wait for this Roman thing to kind of blow over in the bloodline. But I would assume in the next 3 years, don't be surprised if Walter, a.k.a. Gunther, is champ. And Mustafa Ali. I know a lot of people think he might be a jobber or mid-card, but he's super athletic. He's kind of, I'm trying to think of a good comparison, like another high flyer, kind of like a Ricochet, which there's on the screen right now if you're on the Peacock Network. And I think that with his moves like Ricochet, you could put him in a match with a guy that might be more physical like this, and it actually will turn out to be pretty good. So normally when I see something like this, if it wasn't Ali, I'd be a little concerned. You can always do Bruiser versus Bruiser, Walter, a.k.a. Gunther, versus Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre, triple threat. We got to see the best of the best, remember? right? But, you go from athletic guy that doesn't look like he's athletic. He's just kind of looks like he's just a normal black trunk, nothing special type of dude. And then a really athletic guy. So I think that this one actually is going to work. And on top of that, I think Walter is going to show some of his athleticism and show you he's better than what he looks like on paper and on film. He's going to be able to show it today. So I'm excited about this. This match right here has had some buildup, right? And this might be the match that I'm not really invested. I mean, I'm invested in a lot of women's matches. This one, I mean, at least I appreciate the buildup on the storyline with at least they did it, on, Monday Night Raw, and they were trying to build the feud. Hey, we're tagging together with Lita. Now we're not going to be, now we're going to feud, right? And stuff. But I'm not, this one, I feel it's not going to be necessarily like an 8 or a 9 or a 10. And the only way that it would be is if it was like a cage match, something with weapons, TLC, add something, some flavor to it. Because if it's just them, I think it's probably going to be somewhere between a 5 and a 7. Now I'm hoping it gets closer to the 7 side, 7, 7.5. But if we do have one match that underwhelms a tad, unless we see some crazy spots, and these two aren't really the high flyers, like a Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, or they don't really have the same pizzazz as a, Sasha Banks or a Rhea Ripley. So this one to me is going to underwhelm. I love the females. Don't get me wrong. I love the women's division, but just one current, person. And obviously I know that's Seth's wife. I get it, Seth, you're my favorite, but and then with Trish, she's a little older, but she's still in great shape. Obviously she still looks great. We know that. But to me, this one will be the match that underwhelms just a tad compared to the other 6. Oh, hello. Oh, you already know what it is. This is the match that I'm the most impressed with. And obviously a new belt. And we end up getting my 2 favorite right now. Seth Rollins, AJ. Obviously, I'm a big Randy Orton and Kevin Owens guy as well. Randy's obviously on the shelf. Love me some Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, obviously together. But if I had to choose 2 guys by far that are my favorite right now and have been for actually a long, long time, it's these 2. Seth fucking Rollins and AJ Styles. I mean, have they ever had a bad match? Just like Randy Orton, never had a bad match. They always entertain. They're always great, always innovative. You know what I mean? They both have that swagger and that charisma and that special it factor. This is going to be a lot of fun. This one might start the show off if they wanted to start the show off with a bang. Of course, I would love it towards the end, but I assume you're going to do Cody and Brock at the very end, I assume. But I'm not really sure. Unless they probably will do Roman. They'll do Roman at the very end, I would assume, right? Roman at the end, Cody probably right before that. But it makes me curious because, like I said, they used to do the best 2 matches were the last match of the night, the main event, and then the first match would usually be the second best match of the night. But we've seen WWE earlier this year and last year start off with the shittiest matches, which could possibly mean that we're starting here and then moving forward, getting better and better match by match. So we will see how it goes. But I'm definitely looking forward to this. This will be my number 1 match, for me, just based off these 2. Should be a lot of fun. All right, here we go. Ripley. I love Ripley. I like Ripley even more than, with the Bianca and Charlotte with what they're doing with the 2 females that we have in these matches. And Natty is a legend. You know what I mean? She doesn't really get a lot of belt opportunities, kind of just, I'm going to do my job. It would be cool for Natty to be able to get a belt at some point between now and her end of her career, if she can have a little bit of a run. Doesn't have to be long, maybe like 2 months, you know what I mean, just to show appreciation for all her hard work. But it's not going to be anytime soon because Ripley right now might be the hottest in the company. I like the Judgment Day, and that's my favorite faction right now in wrestling in WWE. And Ripley, obviously, just the way that she is, she doesn't have to look like like a Playboy bunny. She can just be, this type of kind of goth, emo type of vibe. And I fucking dig it, man. The tattoos, the look, the vibe, and it's nice to be able to have something different. And not only that, with her look, you know what I mean? Her talking skills are getting better and better on the mic, and she's great in the ring. I feel like Ripley's matches are very entertaining, and I'm really happy that they saw the potential in her. And I know it's hard to be able to get the belts off Bianca and Charlotte, but there are others that are worthy, just like Ripley. So I know that this one for the opponent to Ripley, I'm like, who is it going to be? Like Liv Morgan? It'll be, but Natty for one of the females that never gets any love, never gets a belt. She always has like good to decent matches, maybe not great, but she holds her own, and it usually ends up not being a terrible match where you get some of the other females where it could be Ripley versus someone else. And maybe if Ripley doesn't do a great job, it ends up being a 5-7. But with this one, there's potential here, especially with the spots and the physicality. I'm excited to see what we got here. And here we go. Bianca Belair, the future of the company, with Ripley and taking over Charlotte Flair as being that athletic, woman to kind of be on the scene. But we got Asuka. She's probably the most underappreciated wrestler, female or male. Obviously, I'd like to see Shinsuke Nakamura get, they kind of buried him. They could have made him so much better. And I know there's only so many spots, so many shows. But Asuka, to me, based off her skill set, to me, she might be the most skilled female in wrestling on WWE or AEW. And that's, you got people that are athletic. Yes, we got people, that can do stuff off the top rope that are like Bianca and Charlotte. But if you're looking at a full skill set on everything that she does, I think Asuka is right there with Bianca and Charlotte. I don't think that those are better than her or Ripley. And Ripley got her chance. Are we going to be able to see Asuka get a chance too? I would love. Even if they gave Asuka the belt for a month, I would be happy. As long as it's more than a fucking day. Even if it was a day, I know Asuka would appreciate it. But she's too good not to be able to have a run for 3 to 6 months at some point for her career before it's over. I mean, she's great. When has she had bad matches? You know what I mean? And it's cool to have a little diversity out there. And we got that with Bianca Belair. Obviously, I don't know if it's going to happen tonight or this morning, but we'll end up seeing. So a lot of these matches, okay, this one has potential. This one has potential. We might have some betrayal. This one, some people are like, this one's not going to be that good. That's going to be like this. But remember, Mustafa Ali, super athletic, right? Walter, a.k.a. Gunther, better than people think he is. He's like the Joker on the Nuggets, right? So I think this one is gonna be good. This one will be the only one I feel that underwhelms unless there's like a gimmick attached. This one could be amazing. Hopefully this ends up being one of the best matches of the year, I'm hoping. And even though it is Natty, they match up well. They're kind of a little bit thicker, and obviously Natty wrestles old school. Ripley kind of wrestles like an old school wrestler. And I think that this one actually has potential because Ripley's, going against someone that is a vet and actually knows how to wrestle. Anyone that was brought up in the dungeon with Bret Hart and the Hart Foundation and the Hart family, I respect that. I've always appreciated Natty's career, and hopefully she can get a little bit of love because she really does deserve it. But so many different women that are on the up and up, but before her career is done, WWE better not do her dirty. They better give her the title at least for a month or two. It doesn't have to be for a year or anything like that. So. And then, let's go. Another match that has potential to be really, really good. So this is the first time I think I've seen 6 out of the 7, except for this one, that I'm like, wow, 6 out of 7 have potential to hit. Normally when I have 7 matches, and I'm looking at them, I'm like, well, if there's 7, that means there's probably going to be 3 good ones, 2, okay ones, and maybe 2 bad ones. But at this point, I'm like, wow, 6 out of 7? I mean, they got a chance to fucking hit it out of the park, right? I can't wait to be able to see what happens here. Let me get into the comments. I'm 42 behind, so I probably should get up in here and whatnot. So Lenny D in the building. What to do? Your boys always. I've been up since fucking 6 a.m. I've already been out and about and whatnot. So hey, we're back, baby. And I'm gonna do NHL later today. So I'm grinding. Elliot in the building. I've been awake for 15 minutes. He's at almost noon here. Yes. Yeah. I think that's what we were going to do anytime. We'll all go in here and I'll work, hopefully we can get a good chance to get some good opportunities with some people that come through. And I was thinking we could do just like in, my, preview photo that I ended up putting out on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, the younger pictures of the wrestlers, definitely dope. Sarah in the building. How are you? What's good? I know it's early, but hey, this one, I mean, to wake up this early, and if it ended up having like 7 matches and only 3 were good, a lot of people would be pissed. They're like, oh my god, I woke up this early for fucking 3 matches. But this is the first time maybe 6 out of 7 could like potentially hit, and then the one that might be 7, it might not be as bad as I think it's going to be. Maybe that one ends up being pretty good too. So I'm kind of excited to see where this goes. And at the very least, we're going to have 4 great matches. And then there's going to be 2 that maybe underwhelm, and then 1 maybe so-so. But I don't know, man. I think the 6 out of 7 looks good to me. And you know how critical I am. If I really didn't feel that 6 out of the 7 look fire, I definitely wouldn't fucking say it. Let's get to 100 in donos. Let's do it. Like, sub, donate. Oh, yeah. Seth Rollins. Oh, yeah. Well, this could be one of the matches like WrestleMania, SummerSlam. I mean, anytime you put these two in a match, they don't even have to have a gimmick. They already are going to kill it. But if they have gimmick on top of that, then it might take that match from like a 10 to an 11, like cage match, TLC, something of that nature. But, oh, yeah, I've been waiting for this, man. Odin in the building. How are you? What's good? Yeah. Good morning. Oh, nice. Big Ten championship. Oh, yeah. And that's, to show a little bit of the cracks, you got to be able to have a little excitement, a little thunder, a little lightning. You got to be able to mix it up a little bit, right? And so you're going to see that friction there. And, it's good because we already know it's like we're not stupid people. We already can kind of see the foreshadowing. Yeah, Sammy's there. He wants to get Usi. Then he's not part of the bloodline. You already know where the feuds are going to kind of go. You already knew it. Sammy and KO were going to link back up. If you know wrestling and you've been watching, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure shit out unless you're just completely oblivious or you're brand new to wrestling and you don't know. But at some point, the bloodline will crack, but they're going to be able to try to stretch it out and try to have as many dubs until then, until Roman drops the belt, and he'll be the last one, to drop everything, and we'll see where everything goes from there. So, and I'm going to get caught up in the comments. I promise here. Get fucking Usi. Let's get fucking Usi. Yeah. And LA Knight got a lot of potential as well. He's good on the microphone. It's just a matter of putting him in a match and to see how the crowd reacts, but it's got to be the proper matchup with him to be able, I'm not necessarily saying get him over, but there's just certain people like Austin Theory, his career could go to another level if booked right. LA Knight, I feel, is in the same boat. Those two need the booking to advance their careers more than any other two wrestlers probably right now. There's potential there to make them stars or to kind of bury them. Facts. Love me some Lucha Bros. You already know that. There's a lot of great tag teams that are out right now still. I mean, we already went through like the Hardys and Edge and Christian and the Dudleys, but now it's crazy. It is crazy. TK in the building. We're about to start here right now. So they said 10 minutes, which was about 10 minutes ago. Yeah, I'm thinking, and they could also do it like that, where they think it's going to be Jimmy, but then Solo, I mean, hell, his name is Solo. That could be the one that, Roman doesn't see coming. The fans, only like maybe 25% of us have thought about that angle. Everyone's thinking, oh, if, you got Jimmy and Jay, one's on board, the other one isn't. Oh, it's going to be him. He's already, beefing with Roman, but, it could always be the other one. So I'm with you right there, bro. Johnny Depp is in the building. You never know when the celebrities come through, even this early. I mean, I know how much Johnny Depp drinks, so I'm not sure if Johnny Depp is supposed to be up this early in the morning with all that wine, but he's in the building. Johnny Depp? Pizzle in the building. What to do? Let's go, baby. Finley in the building. What's good, brothers? I know. Well, it's Night of Champions. It's not Morning of Champions. It doesn't have the same ring to it, right? Yeah, I ended up seeing some of the photos and whatnot that you had there. Congrats. Yeah, I didn't get to sleep too late either. I slept at like maybe 1 to like 3, 4 in the morning, and then I had like a picture frame come off. Must be some kind of like spirit or something. It woke me up, knocked over some shot glasses because it was hanging up kind of over the stove. All right, here we go, baby. Night of Champions, which is Morning of Champions. Let's go. Saudi Arabia, so that's why it's night there. And, normally when Saudi Arabia crowds, they're kind of loud, but it's not usually the same vibe as Canada, Wales, or like a Europe crowd or, something of that nature. But, for the press conference, they were pretty, they were pretty aggressive and, they were pretty passionate. So I'm hoping that the crowd can, kind of live up to a Puerto Rico crowd, a Canada crowd, a Wales crowd, a Germany kind of crowd. Because the louder you get, the more chanting you do, the better that the overall event is. the more participation what you get from the crowd, whatever sporting event or wrestling event you're at, it ends up making it that more lit, that much more fun, that much more where you can't take your eyes off the screen. You're into it. The fans are into it. And then the wrestlers feel that vibe. Then they take their level to one extra level where they would only go to a 10. Now they go to 11 because the crowd is just crazy. I hope we get that tonight. Let's go. Check the app that is cash. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Sarah with the tenor to start it off. Thank you. And obviously WWE knows what they're doing, by coming here. It's money, money, money. They know how much money that they can get coming here. Oh, here it is. I was right. There we go. I knew it. There it is. The starting it off. It might be the best match or second best match. And what a better way to open up the PPV with AJ Styles and Seth fucking Rollins. Let's go. $10 holla. Let's go. Yeah. What a way to start off the PPV. Bang, bang, bang. Boom, boom, boom. Bang, bang. Thank you so much, Sarah. I appreciate you. $10 holla. Let's go, baby. And I'm glad they started with this. Because, this is, you can't, if you're not going to do this match last, you have to do it first. You just can't do it runner up to like Brock or runner up to Roman. These guys, are the two best and to me in the company. These are the guys that don't have bad matches. Of course, I know there's others that are going to be out there and whatnot. Odin, my boy, for looking at that nice new championship. Thank you so much. $50 holla. And thank you so much because I am behind on things with like rent and bills and whatnot. And so I'm in a fucking pinch. And that really, really helps. I'm going to have to work really hard these next like 3-4 days. And hopefully at that point we'll be good. So thank you, man. You have no idea how much that means. And obviously Cash App would obviously, at this point would be preferred. But anyone that's willing to do anything, I totally get it. Thank you so much, Odin. You the man. I'm going to have to do 2 streams a day. That's how I got to grind. I got to do the hockey matchup also later today at 5 p.m. Let's go, baby. $50 holla because he knows what it is. Bang, bang, bang. Boom, boom, boom. Let's wake up early and watch some fucking wrestling. Night of Champions. Cactus Jack, your boy O-Dog. Bang, bang. Let's go. Let's go. Thank you so much, man. I love it. I love it, man. And like I said, if you're not going to do this match last with the belt, you know what I mean? You got to do it first. And at least they decided to, give it that opportunity to get it off with a bang and, really start the pay-per-view off on a really good note. Going to be hard to kind of, go from this to the next one. But, it is what it is. And like I said, do you guys agree? Like when I'm talking about the card, you guys are, I feel like a lot of us, our brains think alike. Of course, there's going to be some people that aren't as smart as others on the channel. There's going to be people that read more, watch more film, and just fucking know more, right? We don't have to be a poser. We can just, straight up be real about it, right? But when you look at this card, are you guys like with me? Does this card look like 6 out of the 7 could possibly hit? I'm not, and I was like thinking to myself, when the fuck is the last time WWE got 6 out of fucking 7 that look like they legitimately can hit 8, 9s, or 10s? I don't even remember. I'm thinking back. I watch every WWE pay-per-view since I've been a little kid. I haven't really missed anything. This one could be special. And like I said, if it was like in Canada, then you already knew it would be an instant classic, right? But if this Saudi Arabia crowd can bring that energy. Maybe. Oh, look at Seth with his gear. My God. And I love it too, because Seth can literally wear anything, say anything, do anything, and the crowd will cheer. He can be a great heel, and they'll boo when he's a heel. But when he's a face, they're just eating up everything that he does. And you're not going to be able to get this type of reaction unless you are a legend like, Brian Danielson, with the whole yes movement, no movement, team hell no. You don't get that respect from fans globally And unless they think you're one of the best of all time. And we already know Daniel Bryan is one of my favorites of all time. Bryan Danielson is one of the best of all time. Maybe one of the best, smallest wrestlers of all time, right? Technical wizard, okay? But with Seth, this is like, some people will be talking about Roman Reigns and this long, belt. To me personally, I would like to see Seth have the belt for the longest period of time before it's all said and done. I don't necessarily need to have him, have it for 3, 4, 5 years, but I think that, they push all this Roman, but if you asked fans, who would you rather watch in matches, Seth Rollins or Roman Reigns? And just those, that's it. And I would assume that 90% are going to say Seth Rollins. So Roman has got better on the mic. He's able to be himself and add a little twist of being kind of an asshole and a dick. And, but Seth is just one of those guys, he doesn't really have to try to win you over. We already know what he's about. And he keeps reinventing himself over and over and over. And each time he reinvents himself, it's a whole nother level of swagger. I fucking love it. I fucking love it. And I love it, of course, because I decided to showcase my two favorite. But I can't forget about KO and Randy Orton. Prayers up for Randy. Hopefully he gets better. I do not want him to not wrestle ever again. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You guys mean everything to me. Right? What would you guys say, though? Are you guys thinking like me, though, that the card is more fire than normal? Like, it has a lot of potential here. Curtis in the building. What to do? I could see it going either way because I think Seth is probably most deserving, right? But they could give it to AJ and maybe Seth will go against Roman or they have something lined up for him. You know what I mean? Because, for me, Seth should have the IC championship or the heavyweight championship or one of these belts, nothing lower than that unless he's tagging with someone. But that's a little too low for someone that's one of the best in the company. So we'll see where it goes. So if they give it to AJ, they have something bigger in line for Seth. If they give it to Seth, I don't really know where that leads AJ in his story. But he's so good. Hopefully they don't just, not forget about him. Yes, he did. Stole Becky's clothes. It's awesome. Let's go. And if you notice, with the there's only certain people, that will have it. Obviously, Becky's got that. Sami Zayn's got that. Crowds love to sing. Crowds love to participate. And any idiot can fucking whoa, like anyone can do it. It's not like you have to know the words like in Judas. And if you don't know, then you're not keeping along with the rest of the crowd, right? And obviously, we know Jericho and Judas, that might be the best song and intro. You get people singing that word for word in every building across the globe. I don't think I've seen that before. And it's his own song from Fozzy. It's incredible. And then you get the, Seth Rollins and Sami Zayn and, even Becky Lynch and a few of these others when they, have these little subtle things or with the Cody, people love to scream and yell and chant. You know what I mean? And it's no surprise they do it for their favorites. So crowd is energetic. Listen to them. If I was WWE and I was there at the press conference, I would be just telling the crowd, bring the fucking energy. We already know what we got from Puerto Rico and Canada. You want to be able to match up to Puerto Rico and Canada? You want us to come back? You want us to be able to give you a fire card like this again? Show us everything you fucking got, Let's go. Crowd so far is, I'm impressed. So far, so good. But also with Seth, anyone can so, and that's maybe a reason why they started off to be able to bring the energy right away into the card. Let's go. Yeah. All right, Seth Rollins and Odin, you let me know what you want to see. I'll be able to give you some Seth. I also don't want to miss anything while I'm putting up photos either. But I will get you some Seth Rollins once we get to a moment. I don't want to miss anything in this match. But once we get to the, if we have a pause where someone is laying on the ground or something, we'll figure it out. But I'll get Odin. I'll get you, Sarah. No problem. It's like the first pay-per-view where I feel I got to keep my eyes actually on the matches intently. And, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. This has potential to be match of the year. And they don't even have a gimmick besides the new belt attached to it. There's no weapons. It's not a cage. I just feel that these guys could have one of the best matches of all time. If you're looking at Stone Cold Rock, to me, this is kind of like Stone Cold Rock. Yeah, it's not the same, you know what I mean? But based off legends, these two are legends right now, and they're probably never going to be as big overall as Stone Cold or The Rock, but people are going to remember these two for the rest of their lives. And they're going to be my two favorites since The Rock and Stone Cold. So. Yes, too bad he didn't get the proper love, It's like he sacrificed his body more than anyone in ECW, and the crowd gave him a little pop in the beginning, but not as much. But also, I was reading with some other people's interviews. They said with all the surprises, maybe certain things don't get as much pop as others, with some of the surprises in AEW. But of course, if you're an ECW fan, you're going nuts. But if you didn't watch him in ECW, then you don't have the appreciation. And that's why I feel a lot of the AEW fans, they maybe didn't watch a lot of ECW and they don't know that history. But yeah, I loved it. And that's why I had to share that figure with you too. My knee's still a little fucked up. I've been walking every day still after it happened. Luckily, it didn't buckle the other way. Otherwise, I probably would have had an MCL, PCL, or ACL tear, or I would have sprained it. Because, I fell hard. You know what I mean? I haven't felt like that ever in my life down that embankment. I fell twice in 2 weeks. That wasn't ideal for me. Once down like a 10-foot mud embankment. And then the other one was mud and grass. And then really hard kind of steps that were made out of mud and grass. So when you hit, it hit pretty hard. And when my leg buckled, when I fell, my beanie flew off, my phone flew out of my pocket. I was trying to hang on to Paisley on the leash, but she weighs like, 60 to 70 pounds and she can pull. She's strong as shit, So yeah, it didn't feel good landing like that and having my knee buckle that way. But it still doesn't like click. But when I move it a certain way, like on the left side, it kind of gives me like a stabbing feeling a little, like there's a little bit of pain there, but it's not so bad where I can't walk or I can't exercise. So it doesn't hurt where I feel like I'm immobile, which is good. Yeah, because Paisley needs her exercise, because if I don't walk her, she's going to get to be like 500 pounds and die because no one else in the house will put in the love and the time besides me. So, and I know how much, she needs it, for her mental health, and I need it too. So, yeah. But I did go to our spot again and, got a chance to go to the, a few stores, get prepared, by a little river spot. Went to Safeway dispensary, got everything situated, and got a chance to go on an hour walk. Hell, I was up at 6 a.m. I was so excited about this PPV. No lie. I tried going to bed, and it was like 1 a.m., and I'm like, oh, this pay-per-view looks good. And I was like fucking watching, all kinds of random stuff like River Monsters and other programs and Simpsons and King of the Hill. I'm like, oh, man, I just can't go to sleep. And then I ended up sleeping for a couple hours, and then I had like some painting fall off the wall, which was kind of freaky. And then I couldn't really sleep after that. So I've been up since like 6 a.m. Here we go. We got a good spot here. We'll get a little superplex. Or do we got something other than a superplex here? Oh. Little counter. I like the Night of Champions logo in the background there with behind the people. Cool idea. Whoever came up with that. That's, it's like you got the whole WWE and normally it's on the apron, but to have it like with those fans behind, very cool. Like, it feels like certain WWE things for me have been like, I got an upgrade, and then other things are like, what are they doing? Like sometimes like cameras and lighting and whatnot, but. Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby. I'm excited. I can watch these guys wrestle like an hour match. It's like I feel like almost it's like Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart to me, Rock, Stone Cold. Like there's just certain like rivalries and there's just certain wrestlers. It's just gonna work, And as far as like Seth Rollins and his charisma and on the mic and being part of the Shield with Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns, that's the probably the best for the three as far as factions and what they've been able to do. Since they left that faction, I don't think we've seen any other three. It used to be Hogan, Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash, right? But now it's got to be Jon Moxley, Dean Ambrose, Roman, and Seth. 2. And AJ came late. We've seen him in other promotions, right? But his athleticism, the gloves, the swagger, like I said, with AJ, could AJ be a little bit better on the mic? I don't think he's terrible. And I don't necessarily think he's maybe great. I think he's more like kind of on the maybe good side, above average good, but there's others that are better on the mic than him. His thing is more, let me show you my athleticism and let me show you in the ring. So I think that AJ could be better on the mic, but he is pretty good. He's not terrible on the mic, AJ, because if he was terrible on the mic, I wouldn't like him. You know what I mean? So 2. Just trying to nitpick a little bit with some of these wrestlers, but by far my 2 favorite in WWE for quite some time, these 2. And then I would probably say Randy Orton would be 3 for me, and then probably Kevin Owens as of like right now. Yeah, old school. Yeah. What was that name of that federation? There was a few of those lower promotions that they were in, and there was another one where I'd seen Seth. He would there was like a bigger gentleman that was sitting like in the front row, and then he like walked up the guy's stomach and did like a backflip off the guy that was in the crowd. I've seen a lot, and then you can tell like some of them are like really small gymnasiums. There's like fucking 25 people there. Much respect to these 2. I mean, these 2 are more influential, than a lot of the guys on the roster ever will be. Big splash. 2. Yeah, well, he actually said some fucked up things, like old tweets to JR, and some of the people. So he was kind of, but also Vince did a lot of like racist stuff, when they had the ECW, when they bought him out, and some of the stuff that Vince got away with in the Attitude Era and the post-Attitude Era, like trying to make Sabu like looking at him like, oh, let's do like a terrorist angle or some like fucked up stuff. Like we already seen, what Vince was able to do in the 80s and 90s. It's just ridiculous how none of that would go today or fly today. But I think a lot of it had to do with a lot of the stuff that he said. But, for me, ECW, no one else, put up better quality matches and entertainment besides him and RVD, man. 2. Okay, I got you. Oh, yeah, Iron Sheik. He's like, Hogan, that motherfucker. I always see him on fucking Twitter, and he's always talking about Hogan being a jabroni motherfucker and how he hates him. Like every fucking day, Iron Sheik has always got something to say about some motherfucker on there. Oh. I mean, I don't know if you guys think the same as me, but I mean, I have a high respect for Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart, Stone Cold Rock. And some people would say, well, AJ Styles needs to be bigger. I mean, does he? I mean, he's actually accomplished quite a bit, since being here late in his career. Imagine if AJ came here in the beginning. You know what I mean? Obviously, him as that different wrestler, like him now as with the longer hair and that style that he has, that's AJ Styles. And obviously, early on, he had the short hair. The vibe wasn't different. It's kind of crazy how something as hair could make a different image of a wrestler, but it does. You know what I mean? Sometimes when you have like the short hair and you're like the baby face, no facial hair, sometimes you can't get over. And then sometimes to get that heel look, you got to have the long hair. You got to have the beard. You got to be able to get hit in the head and have that hair fly back. And, you sell the moves. That's a big reason why these guys have the long hair, to make the moves sell. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Oh, he's going to get out of it. Yep, there we go. Hurricane Karana counter. Oh, I was about to say, that would have been nuts. Yeah, I'll get, once this match is over and we have the little intermission, I'll get you guys all the photos that you want. I just feel if I'm searching for photos, I'm going to miss like something special. It's like, I got to keep my eyes on here. I'm glad that we're able to do this together. It's like, I have friends that used to watch, but they don't have the commitment anymore. You know what I mean? They like, or maybe they do and they only watch pay-per-view, but maybe not every pay-per-view. So it's always nice to be able to, hang out with people. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh my God. Look at this. Let's fucking go. Match of the year. Let's go. And they're going to make it good too. And it's for a new belt too. I mean, Hence the pictures behind us, baby. Let's go, dude. He should have did 3. That one, 2, and then 3. But I mean, that's asking a lot. I get it. I'm getting into my Kenny Omega bag and the a Young Bucks bag when they just keep going and going and going. You start getting into like that Brock Lesnar F5 mode where you just want 3 when you get 1, and then once you get to 3, you want 5. You just you just want them to keep going with suplexes or moves. Metallica. But isn't that wild though, right? Sometimes people don't think about that, like how hair can make a difference. Like facial hair and long hair can make the overall image look, different, more heel, I mean, they can get over as a baby face as well, but I mean, obviously you get more of that heel vibe. Oh, Seth, don't injure your knee, bud. I always get nervous when Seth does stuff off the top rope because he had that injury early in his career. Remember how reckless he used to be? How he just fly out of the ring one way, get back in the ring, fly out of the ring again, and then get back in the ring, fly out of the ring again. I mean, he used to do it like 3-4 times in a row. Love me some Seth Rollins. Always liked him, from the very, very beginning. And I never gave up, always knew that another push for him was going to come. They've kind of disrespected his career in the last 5 years. Same thing with AJ. Could have been better. But at least now, even if Seth doesn't have a belt, I mean, he gets treated, by the fans like he does, and that's got to be a good feeling when you don't have the belt, when you're that fucking over, Oh! Dude, match of the year? Come on, bro. Fuck out of here. Let's go. Even Paisley came in the room. Daddy? You see, say AJ? Look at this kid. I, mommy. I, poppy. We're not in Puerto Rico anymore, but that's the best thing I could come up with when that kid got the close up. Let's go. Oh, but did we think that this match would be even to call this match would be an 8 is a disrespect? You know what I mean? This has potential to be a 9 or a 10. You know what I mean? Or a match of the year candidate. And that's what we need, Yeah. Fantastic match. Yep. And also, too, it's 2 of the best. They're popular. They're great. Good on the mic. They're over with the fans, but they're athletic. They put their bodies on the line. They're just really, really, fantastic wrestlers that are a big piece of the backbone of WWE. They think Roman is so valuable. If they lost Seth and AJ, it would be bigger than them losing Roman. If Roman went to AEW, it wouldn't matter. You know what I'm saying? The Roman isn't as big as they're making him out to be. It's kind of like with Hogan. His moveset was so simple. It's like leg drop, big boot. There wasn't really anything special about Hogan's moveset. And if you really look at and I love Hogan, based on what he was able to bring. But I mean, if you're looking at his moves, I mean, some of the laziest fucking moves of all time, So it really gives me an appreciation for guys like AJ and Seth and Sabu and RVD and Charlotte and Bianca Belair and, just being able to see people do things that, and then Kenny Omega and who else? Young Bucks. I mean, there's a lot of them. Oh yeah, it's awesome. Do you guys have these guys in your top 5 right now? If you had to have your 5 favorite wrestlers that are wrestling in WWE right now, are both of these guys in your guys' top 5, or is one of them out of your top 5? Is AJ in everyone's top 5, or because I would assume Seth is in everyone's top 5, but AJ might not be. I guess it depends if you like AJ Styles or not. I mean, he's so good. I think that even if you don't like him as a face or a heel, it's he's too good to not appreciate. It's if you were a Shawn Michaels guy and you're like, fuck Bret Hart, but in your heart, deep down, Bret Hart is one of the greatest of all time, and Shawn Michaels also as well. It's it was, Rock and Stone Cold. It's there was one and then there was the other. someone's got to kind of take the torch after one, and no one wants to give up the spot. No one wants to be the, number one guy and then lose the number one spot. We get that, Tyler in the building. What to do? Yeah, but these are by far my two. But I would say Randy Orton, if he was healthy, imagine him being in this match. If it was triple threat, add Randy healthy. Oh my God. I mean, that could end up being one of the best triple threats of all time. You kidding me? Randy healthy? Oh. And love me some Kevin Owens too. I can't, as far as like not having that traditional shape of a wrestler, being a little bit bigger and thicker, you know what I mean? But just being as athletic as anyone else, it's just fantastic, man. And Kevin Owens is fantastic on the mic. And the best part about Kevin Owens to me, and sometimes Kevin Owens is like, climbs up to number one for me sometimes, even though Seth is normally my number one, is that it's the passion that Kevin wrestles with. He wrestles like he's wrestling his last match in his life, you know what I mean? In every match. And you can feel that. I don't think you can feel that with every wrestler, where you feel like they're giving it their fucking all in every fucking match. And I can't say that about many people in WWE, but I can definitely say that about Kevin Owens. And I can see that in him. And that's what makes me love him that much more, because I can see that passion, how much it means to him, the legacy, and everything that he does, to be able to put guys over, to have a good quality match for himself. And he's a bigger guy, and so it takes a little bit more effort to do these moves that AJ and Seth are doing, but he does them. And it's incredible. Oh, pedigree. Oh, pedigree. My goodness. Now, you and me got a lot of the same. Top 10, yeah. Nice. Heck yeah. Way to, this match deserves to be the last match of the night. It's that good, and that's why you had to start the pay-per-view off with this match, because this will probably be better than, this might be the best match of the whole card. I mean, based off the two best wrestlers to me. Phenomenal forearm. Oh, counter. Yes. And honestly, I'm not going to be mad for either one, because I already know the one that doesn't get it, they have something in store for them. So Seth is most deserving, but if he doesn't get it, then bigger things coming. If AJ gets it, obviously, he obviously can hold belts perfectly. But if he doesn't, where does that leave AJ storyline wise? Feud wise? Oh, pedigree. Yes. Oh. Whoa, there he goes. Seth gets it. So, and, if you are going to start it off with someone that's been disrespected for like the last 5 years, and you're going to create a new belt and he's going to be the first one to have it, then that's going to make him probably feel, okay, I've worked really hard. I should have what Roman has right now, or I should have been more in the mix. But even though I don't have a belt, I'm fucking over like a motherfucker, right? I am over more than anyone, maybe besides Cody right now, Roman. And that's cool. Triple H is in there with him. And, and it's like a heavyweight belt. It's not IC belt or anything like that, I love it, man. Let's fucking go. And it'll always be, he'll be the first one to have that belt. You know what I mean? So hopefully that'll continue to have a good legacy with that particular belt, I mean, you have so many wrestlers that you got to be able to showcase, right? And just having 2 belts on one person is a little ridiculous, but I guess, when you're trying to make someone be the best of all time, like better than Hogan, then you're doing that, you're trying to emulate that. That was cool that Triple H, put the strap on him right there because it's deserving. He should have what Roman has. You know what I mean? But I think inside, he knows he's more popular than Roman. Roman is popular, to certain people, you know what I mean? But Seth is over. People look forward to seeing what Seth has to do more than Roman. You know what I mean? So this is bittersweet for him and Becky. You know what I mean? It's like all the hard work, all the times where he could have bitched to the media, to the fucking wrestling tabloids where he could say he's fucking unhappy, where he's underappreciated. And I know he felt like that. Damn, I've seen stuff with him. And I know he's felt bitter and fucking pissed off, that he's in his mind and in my mind, he's the best guy in the company to me, even more than Roman, honestly. Just because you give someone a belt doesn't mean they're the best in the company, and talking wise in the ring, the charisma, everything that Seth brings. I mean, first ballot Hall of Famer. He's on the same level to me as Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Rock, Stone Cold, Seth freaking Rollins. I love it, man. Finally. And he deserves it. You know what I mean? It's just kind of shitty that they had to create one for him. But the cool thing is, I really like this belt. This belt is like, the WCW big gold belt. They have a smaller W. It's actually one of the belts on the WWE side or in general where I'm like, I would consider buying this. Like, I can't afford a belt, you know what I mean? But that one is a nice looking belt, like the big WCW big gold belt. Well deserved. My guy, dude, fucking Seth Rollins. Yeah. Well, this is supposed to be a big moment, so they're not going to do anybody dirty. This is supposed to be showcasing WWE and showcasing Seth Rollins. So, oh yeah, I like Ospreay a lot. Okada's nice too. Yeah. Dijakovic was cool. When him and Keith Lee went in NXT TakeOver Portland, I was right there in the front row on the opening match. It was awesome. Breaker, Roxanne Perez. But right, I mean, look at the belt. It's pretty. It has a good shape to it. The W isn't big. It's smaller. It actually looks better. Like, sometimes you got to change the style of the belt and having it big W. Yeah, but then it kind of got played out. Like, we need something different. And whoever made that belt decision to go that particular route, right, to actually go with the smaller W with the WCW style of the shape of the belt and then with the plates, it's pretty. I mean, to me, it's, everyone, you're going to have different belts, different generations. Things are going to change. But for me, old IC belt, obviously the Smoking Skull belt, the Rock belt, spinner belt, Edge and John Cena. And then obviously having, the big gold NWO, the Ric Flair. And then this one right here, man, it's sexy. It looks good. And what a great opening match. All right. So what do we give that opening match overall? A 10, right? I mean, that's going to be a, I don't know if I want. I don't know if I want to push the boundaries and say it's going to be a match of the year candidate because I got to see what the rest of the year entails. But it definitely was memorable and it was a good match. Lots of big spots and yeah, definitely a fantastic way to start off the pay-per-view. There you go. There you go. And I wouldn't have been mad either. I would have been super excited for AJ too. He's well deserving of belts as well. He's right below Seth in my opinion. Like those are the guys, And a championship on Raw. Exactly. See? And those little subtle details on like where each guy is and where they want to be able to place the belts. If Roman is on one show, what about this show? Exactly. So you get it, bro. Yes. Fantastic. Shit, you could call that a bitch 11. That might have been an 11. Oh, that'll be lit. I mean, pay-per-views and overseas, obviously the energy is always going to be insane. All right, baby. Nice job, Seth. Let's go. Love it, man. I was just happy I was able to find images like this good to make it look that well. So worked out good. And then I guess we're going to go here. All right, I need to get some photos for you guys. And then what do you want to see here? Let me scroll up. Oh, Becky Trish is next. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so they obviously think that this is the worst match of the pay-per-view if it's second. Second best match of the night, and then the worst match to follow that. And then everything goes uphill from there. All right, let me see here. I got to scroll up to see what you guys wanted. Some Iron Sheik, Shotzi, Rhea, Sabu, and some Seth Rollins for Sarah. Okay. Appreciate you guys. And your clothes just keep getting more damaged the more times you wash them. $300, that's a lot of money. Once you take it out, it's never the same. The color always kind of fades. Add Downy to your wash to protect your clothes. Downy does more than detergent alone. It smooths and conditions fibers, so clothes look newer, longer. See? This one looks brand new, like it just came off the rack. I can't get over the smell. Saving money? Who starts like Downy? Downy saves loads. All right, let's get some Seth Rollins here for Sarah, and then we'll get into all of Odin's. Hopefully I can get most of those in while we're watching the match. I mean, I feel this next match, it's not like you're going to have to be, like, people are going to be going to the bathroom. People are just going to be, like, getting a snack. Like, you know, all the energy was right there. Now people are making, like, breakfast or lunch or, you know, grabbing some chips. Like, this next one is going to be kind of just like we're watching, I feel. You know? No disrespect, but it ain't going to be like this first match. It's like, you know, gain a little bit of bearings on what you want to do for your day. And this will give us an opening to do some photos. And so I'm still going to watch it with intent, but that's not going to be as good as that first match, baby. Let's go. Seth freaking Rollins. But again, it's got to be a great feeling, you know, to be so over that even when you don't have a belt, you feel like you're over, you know, and not many guys get that feeling. But now he's got a belt to match the vibe. So, and it's well-deserved because they didn't really give him a whole lot in the last 5 years. So, I mean, United States, I mean, come on, fucking A, dude. United States Championship? I mean, my God. I mean, really? Man. Should be IC Championship, Heavyweight Championship, and in special circumstances, tag if they got an angle for him to do, like, for a short run, you know? It's the man right there. My favorite, Seth freaking Rollins. Yes. I'll get some photos here while they're coming out for you, brother. Shotzi, baby. Nobody else is talking about. Sometimes you have to take it upon yourself to remind the world of who you are, of what you accomplished. And Trish got tired of not being talked about enough, so she came back and she's going to show a whole new generation why she's the greatest of all time. I can promise you, when I retire, you'll never hear from me again. Trish Stratus went as far as to survey the entire panel of Canada's Got Talent, and they all said there's no way that he wins this match. And who are you to disagree with how he handled it? Gotta have the ladies all covered up in jumpsuits. Can't be showing off the skin there. That's a no-no. She got the Bruce Lee fit going on. So what is this one going to be, like a 5 to a 7? Trying to get through some of your photos for you, brother. Bruno Sammartino and Iron Sheik. And I like it that you did the Bruno, because I like seeing old school stuff too. You know me, bro. I like current stuff, but I like old. Paisley. Paisley started woofing. The women's division in WWE. I have a lot of respect for Trish Stratus. Yes, she's already in the Hall of Fame, but rather than complain and cry. I got one more to get for you, brother. Rejoin WWE and looking to prove to a whole new generation that she is as good as Iron Sheik. Better than Becky Lynch. About what Becky said this past week on Monday Night Raw, that everyone is passed you by, Trish, and you're upset. Oh, I got an epic one. You stay the same. We all evolved. Right now, what I'm saying, dude, kudos for you for bringing up Bruno, man. Like I said, you know, when I talk with like Odin's son and Cyberpunk and a few of y'all, it's you know, whenever you can get some of those old names involved, let's go, baby. Like, I feel this match will be very forgettable. Like, you know, it's like some of the Bobby Lashley matches that I would talk about where sometimes they'd be good, but you just don't really remember them. I feel like this one will be like out of the 7 matches, this one will be the letdown, and that's why it's positioned at number 2. Is that Hogan, that fucking Hogan motherfucker? Fuck that jabroni, fuck. That's fucking Sheik on Twitter every day. Yeah, fuck that jabroni motherfucker Hogan. Fucking Sheik. His tweets are fucking crazy. He's a crazy guy. I got one last one for you until we get to like a little break. Oh, baby. I see you, Sheik. The belts have come a long ways from back in the day. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you, Sarah. Thank you, Odin son. Appreciate you guys. Hope you enjoyed those. Nice job with Seth starting off that pay-per-view on a good note. Yeah, Kill Bill type of vibe. Yeah, for sure. $60. Let's get to Hundo. You think Natty and Ripley's not going to be good? It'll be better than this. So, I mean, if we're going to go based off matches, it'll be better than this one. So, I mean, you know, sometimes the female matches don't live up to some of the male matches, and sometimes the female matches are better than the male matches. But with these particular 4 wrestlers that we have, it's not necessarily the cream of the crop of what they have to offer, you know. But obviously, then we got, you know, the match below that one with like Bianca and Asuka. That's going to be great, right? And I don't know. I wouldn't sell Natty short. I mean, it's not like Liv Morgan or, you know, I'm not saying Liv wouldn't be able to put up a good match or whatever, but if you get someone that's a little like mid-card, that's a little bit lower, you know, Natty, you know, the only thing that Natty doesn't have is belts behind her name, you know, but if you actually look at the way that she wrestles, you know, she can do technical wrestling, you know, and I think that, I don't know, I think the match could end up being, you know, pretty good. I don't know if it's going to be, you know, an 8, you know what I mean? But there's potential for it to be an 8. You know, it might end up underwhelming and being a 7, but it'll probably be better than this match. Will probably be like a 5 or a 6. So, but again, you know, we had 6 out of 7 on the card. Looked like they had potential to be 8 or better. And I don't remember the last time. And this one to me was a 5 to 7 potential. So, you know, so yeah, if the Ripley one ends up being and this one ends up being the 2 worst matches, then at least we're going to get 5 really good bangers and then 2 that were, you know, like a 5 to a 7, you know what I mean? And then all the others are 8, 9s, and 10s. I can live with that. 5 out of 7, fucking A, man. You know, normally we get half, right? 2. Not a good photo that they used for Becky Lynch in this promo photo. They got Trish looking like a Playboy model, and they chose like a weird photo of like Becky looking like she has to use the bathroom or something. Not the cutest photo for Becky Lynch in this promo video here, or promo photo. They could have used a better one to make her look more pretty. Becky's like, I got to put my hair extensions on. That's got to be weird for them, like all covered up too, like wearing like kind of like jumpsuits type thing, you know, instead of their traditional gear. 2. Yeah, I mean, I like I said, I don't think that this match or the Ripley match is going to be terrible. You know what I mean? Terrible matches mean you get like a 1, or a 2 or a 3. Average match is a 5. You know what I mean? A little bit above average is a 6 or a 7, and then good is 8, and then the bangers are 9 or 10s. Like, oh my god. So that's kind of how I do my scale. So I mean, if you get anything on a pay-per-view that's below a 5, there's a fucking problem. You shouldn't have anything below a 5. But if you end up having a couple 5 to 7s, there's nothing wrong with that. That just means it's average to good. Average to a little bit above average. Well, they built up the feud, at least, the right way, from like tagging together with Lita, you know what I mean? And then, try to build it up that way. So it's not like it was really like forced, where sometimes where they have like two people like, wrestling each other, but there wasn't really any build up. And so it doesn't really mean anything. Wow. I wonder what they feel about that. That's probably a may hire as well, I think. Yeah. To the second rope. It's in the diamond dust. Will it be enough? Perhaps it is as Becky goes up to the top rope. Fucking leg drop. Fucking Hogan that shit. 2. I just feel when I see certain wrestlers, they're not athletic. You know what I mean? Like, they're running around out there, but they're just not smooth like other wrestlers. Like when you see Bianca or like Charlotte, you see certain wrestlers that are like smooth, and like Asuka. And then you just see other wrestlers kind of like Becky Lynch, where it's like kind of erratic. Like, it still works, you know what I mean, and stuff, but you get like kind of an erratic style where it doesn't really look smooth all the time. Her, Liv Morgan, there's a few of the females that could definitely get a little bit more better, but at least no one is like, like Rousey. Obviously her shit is the worst because she still moves around like a UFC, fighter rather than a WWE wrestler, and is terrible on the mic and botches everything. But I think you guys know what I mean. It's like it's not smooth for some of the wrestlers. It's a little erratic. You know what I mean? But sometimes erratic can work. Yeah, Boston Crab that shit. Boston Crab, baby. I imagine the fans were like really wanting to be able to see them not wear suits like this. We paid big money to watch them in jumpsuit. Probably wasn't the best thing, but they're putting on a decent match. But again, Trish, for an older WWE star, she's one of the better older wrestlers that can still be halfway decent. You know how some of the people that are like kind of retired and they just really can't do it anymore. They try, but it just looks terrible. Or like Goldberg. No one wants to see fucking Goldberg wrestle at all. So, I mean, Trish is still going to be that sex symbol that she was when she wrestled, back in the 90s, early 2000s. So. And she obviously still stays in great shape. That's for damn sure. And that's a big part of it, because if you're not in shape when you get older, then, yeah, you're not going to be able to hang with people that are in their 20s and 30s. 2. Yeah, I don't know about that Milwaukee hire. If I was a Bucks fan, I wouldn't be too happy with that. Giannis should just leave the Bucks and come to Portland, play with Dame. Yeah, well, they're feisty, these two, and like I said, we're together with Lita, and then obviously the betrayal, the build up for the next pay-per-view. And Trish is probably one of the only like older, guys or girls that people would be like, okay, I'm not going to just, completely just discredit this completely. Like this actually could be halfway decent. 2. But I guarantee if Trish gained a lot of weight, since her retirement, she probably wouldn't be able to do this match at this level. Yeah, I would say this is surpassed the 5 level to me already, and I'm leaning a little bit more towards like a 6-7 right now. And depending on what we get here at the end, it might end up being a 7. I'm not going to give it an 8. Oh, shit. Bye. No. Wow. Trish with the win. Stratisfaction. It's over. Obviously, it had to be a cheat or a run in. But I think overall for me, that wasn't completely terrible. And I would say that was, obviously the ending could have been, they didn't need a run in, or a cheat move. But of course, it kind of fits into Trish being the heel, right? You're being the heel, you're cheating, So Becky Lynch with the bloody nose. Blood all over her face. Yeah, they definitely could have did the ending better. Still a good 6 or 7. You know what I mean? It wasn't terrible. Calvin in the building. What to do? What's good, bro? Zoe, man. 7.5. Yeah. I got to be able to see the other female match before I can give that a 7.5. I got to be able to so I got to be able to see. We got this one, all right. So if you give that a 7.5, I need to see what we're getting here. Seems like you think it might end up being like not that good, like worse than that match. We'll see. And then we already know we can both agree that this one will be the best female match tonight, hands down. And then if Asuka wins, it'll be like a 10, because then we get a belt change for someone that deserves it. I love Bianca Belair. She's up there with me with Charlotte, right? But to be able to get Ripley and Asuka an opportunity, they're right below Bianca and Charlotte. And at some point, you got to give Ripley and Asuka a little love. And just because you gave Ripley the love first, I get it, but you should still be able to give Asuka a little bit of that love too. So we'll see what we get here. But yeah, 6 or 7, 6 to 7.5. All right. So you start off the pay-per-view with obviously our boy. This started off with a 10. So that's a good sign right there, right? And then 6 to a 7.5. Not bad. It's not a 5. So that's actually much better. This could actually be the best card that we see as a total, as a whole, in a long, long time. Like if we actually do it match by match, this has potential to be the best pay-per-view match by match that we've seen in years. So hopefully they keep it up. And I don't know. We'll see if they can do some cool spots in this match. I think it could be just as good as this one. And I think with Ripley in it, I like Ripley more than these two. So I think Ripley has potential to, get it to a 7, 7.5, or 8 by herself. It's just if Natty can carry her own, and depending on what cool spots they have in the match, high risk moves, unique moves, different stuff, maybe we haven't seen or rarely. So we'll see where it goes. And then this one, you got, Gunther, a.k.a. Walter, who is the Denver Nuggets, Nikola Jokic, the Joker. Big, tall, white guys, underestimated. People don't think they're really that good. They just look kind of simple and boring. Just tall, white dudes, but they're much more than that. And then Ali is great, right? Ali can fucking do ricochet-type moves. I've always liked him, kind of a high flyer. He seems like more he would fit in with AEW, based off his style and whatnot, but hopefully this ends up being good as well. But it's lining up. I don't like the broken arm angle, but this is lining up to be halfway decent. We might get some betrayal here. Excited for this. This is probably the second match I'm excited to kind of see what we got going on here. This one could be a sleeper for sure. It's not like Ali's going to win, but if he does some crazy moves, it'll definitely take it to an 8 and then possibly an 8.5 or a 9 if we get really crazy stuff going, right? 6 to a 7.5, a fucking 10. And then this one should be somewhere between, at the lowest, 6, at the highest, 9, but realistically, 7 to 8 probably. And then this one's got potential to be a 9 or a 10, in my opinion. So, 7 matches. And I'm glad they're not doing a bunch of like filler matches. Remember when they used to do like 10 and they would just have these extra ones that they just would throw in and they were just garbage. And then it would just make the overall pay-per-view go down. So, yeah, you don't always need the interference. I totally 100% agree. But in that circumstance with Trish being kind of heel and, it's all about me, you know what I mean? And they obviously wanted to debut, someone. So where do they debut it? They debut it there. So, but I get it. Yeah, I think I'm kind of in the middle. You're at 6.5. I think Odin and Lenny are at 7.5. I think I got to give it a 7 because I got to see what the other match is going to be with Ripley and Natty, and then we'll kind of go from there. The Gunther. Let's go. 60 doll hairs. Let's get to a hundo. Your boy's got rent and bills to pay. Late rent and bills to pay. Right. But then she makes up for it with her technical wrestling, though. She's not a jobber out there, like some of the other wrestlers that like Becky Lynch or Liv Morgan that look kind of erratic, out there. They're not really smooth. For me, Natty is kind of thicker, and she is an old school wrestler, but she's very sound in her technique and her moves. So, yeah, she might be a little slower, but then that doesn't mean that they can chop the shit out of each other and they can do some like physicality, like Gunther, Sheamus. Like sometimes you got to look at it that way that, Natty might not be anyone's favorite, but imagine if they put the strap around Natty and she had the belt for a while, the perception would change about Natty. Like, oh, look at the Hart Foundation, the legend, like if they ended up giving her the women's title for like a year, the perception would be completely different for Natty. And I think that she's underrated, but I do agree. She is a slower, you know what I mean? And she's not the fastest, but she is very technically sound. So I do think that they can make it more physical rather than speed. And if they do it like that, then it could end up being an 8 when it's all said and done. So we'll see what happens. Alicia Fox. Yeah. Bella Twins. Emma Summer Rae. Right. Right. But think about how many women that you can say that are technical wrestlers. Charlotte, Natty, who else? You know what I mean? There's, Asuka, No, I know, but I totally get what you're saying. But sometimes instead of having it to be like speed, then they can kind of change it a little bit. Maybe do it more physicality, maybe submission moves, maybe a little bit more groundwork. And then they'll have a few spots, for some high risk and whatnot. But yeah, hopefully they do. Mustafa, the police officer. And like I said, Imperium. Mad. Oh, your gratitude for UWE, the Continental Heavyweight Champion. Gunther Walter. Let's go, baby. It's the Joker of the WWE. Doesn't get the respect that he deserves. Just looks normal, bland, boring, black trunks, nothing special, But then he gets in the ring and you're like, holy shit, this guy's way better. It's like he almost needs to have a different look. You know what I mean? I think that's a part of the gimmick. You know what I mean? That he can just look like a regular 80s, 90s jobber, like normal, nothing special, besides the whole Imperium vibe and everything with him having a faction and introducing him. But just based on his like gear that he wears, there's nothing special. this could be a guy that could be IC champ, heavyweight champ, or it could just be a scrub. It could just be a jobber type of wrestler. It's like when we used to watch Hulk Hogan on Saturday, it'd be Hulk Hogan versus Mike Smith. Who the fuck is Mike Smith? You didn't know who he was, but the match was over in 2 minutes with a squash job, right? Gunther, baby. Yeah. And obviously having a little faction in the name helps the vibe, instead of him just being by himself. But you can tell he's going to be the next man up at some point. You got Seth, you got, some of these other guys, Cody Rhodes, Roman, possibly MJF. But it just seems like it's a matter of time, unless they want to, put the IC title around him for extended amount of time and have him be one of the best IC champions of WWE history. So it just depends on how they want to do the history. So maybe they want him to be heavyweight champ, but in the meantime, we're going to make you the longest reigning or one of the longest reigning IC champs, or give you a lot of pub on that level. So that way you can be known for that belt. And then you'll get your chance down the road, after the bloodline shit is all done and all that shit down the road. And then you will be heavyweight champ of a belt of one of the three at some point. So, and then at that point, when he's heavyweight champ, maybe we'll get a Drew McIntyre again, and something Sheamus, and maybe we get like a fatal 4-way with a bunch of big dudes, but they're not like slow and lazy. That's another thing too. It's like some of the tall guys are like slow, you know what I mean? But Gunther is fast. He's athletic. You know what I mean? And and then obviously a heel, and it kind of reminds you like of the like the Rocky movies. It's like if you end up getting like like a Russian bad guy, or like a Soviet Union bad guy, or like a European bad guy. It's like you see him in like those movies and in the Bond movies and whatnot. He has that vibe. Like I feel like I played with him on 007 on GoldenEye on my 64. But that's good, you know what I mean? He's not the traditional IC champ. Usually IC champs are much smaller, more athletic. It's more like like a Shawn Michaels, like Razor Ramon type thing, where you're like a, So it's like, not really normal to have a guy like Gunther's size to have the belt like this, but I think it's cool. Oh, yeah. Mustafa going to be a injured dog after this. Oh, shit. There's that first chop. My God. He said, fuck. Oh, I mean, we already saw what it was like when we had Sheamus, Drew McIntyre, and him, and these guys are like, big, right? Imagine if you're like mid card or like lower card, someone that would be like a cruiserweight or, United States champion type vibe or tag champion, Mustafa Ali. Yeah, he's going to be hurting, man. And Gunther, is like Sheamus. There is no, let me tone it down a little bit for you. But I think Gunther to me is kind of a throwback to like an 80s wrestler. Dude, that was one of my favorite matches in a while. Yeah. And then obviously, anything with Gunther and then Sheamus and McIntyre. I mean, all of them are physical. I mean, for me personally, I'm more of a Drew McIntyre guy. If I had to choose between Drew McIntyre, Gunther, even though I love the potential and I see the push that they're going to give him. And obviously Sheamus, had his push, would be cool for him to have oh shit. Oh my God. Big boot. Oh my God. Off the road. Ali is just like sacrificing his body just to make Gunther look great. He's like, I'll just like throw myself into everything and you just beat the shit out of me. Yeah. But I like Drew's, story with, being in WWE and then, wow, holy shit. And then, getting fired and then coming back and obviously having a different look, longer hair, beard, and, and reinventing himself. It just sucks that McIntyre had to be champ during COVID where he didn't get the fan love. I feel that McIntyre deserved to have the fan love, and hopefully they give him another shot at some point, even if it's, taking the IC belt off Gunther, and Gunther moves up to heavyweight, Drew would be a nice one to have the belt, even though Drew is more of a heavyweight guy himself, but yeah, they should all go heel. I mean, anytime you go face, you're always going to be more popular when you go heel. It's like you got John Cena, face, but then if he would have did NWO and he was the leader of it in like 2010, 2011, I mean, he would have been, it would have been like Hogan all over again. Kids wouldn't even know what to do. They'd be fucking crying and shit. I mean, it could have been something special, or it didn't even have to be NWO. It could have been, some new faction or something, but him just being like, fuck the kids, fuck everybody. And I already liked it when he was, fucking word life, John Cena. That's always going to be my favorite. Nice. Yeah, they should make her a heel because sometimes you just get to a certain point. It's like Bailey with the hugs. She's way better as a heel. You know what I mean? You can have the other like bubbly people be the faces and whatnot. That's fine. You know what I mean? And eventually a heel can go back to a face like a Seth Rollins. It doesn't, and sometimes it just organically happens. But, a lot of people, when they're a face for too long, it's great for them to go heel because not only is it a different personality, different cockiness, different attitude, but usually it ends up boosting the career. Heels are going to be better than faces 9 times out of 10. I mean, that's at least for me. I mean, all the cartoons, all the toys that I had, all the people that I liked, it's always been heels. Oh, nice. Fucking powerbomb. Let's go. Yeah, but with Bianca meaning to little girls, and women, across the globe, she can still go heel and they can still cheer for her. She just might be, a little bit more, a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more, shit talking, They don't need to make her like ghetto, they don't need to make her, like, oh, look at Bianca Belair. And she's like, like this ghetto type of person, or have her talk like a rapper or talk slang and all this stuff, like they don't need to go to that extreme. You know what I'm saying? But she could definitely go heel and beef with the faces and have a little bit more of an attitude. Oh my God, what a clothesline. What a sell by Ali. And I don't think the girls are going to be like, oh my God, I can't root for her anymore unless she went and be like, fuck the kids, 2. Sometimes that's what needs to happen. They ain't buying the fucking tickets. Fuck them kids. We need to get some good storylines, baby. Kids ain't buying the merch. Kids ain't buying the belts. Kids ain't buying the toys. You can cater to the kids, here and there, but yeah, I would love to see heel. I would like to actually like to see them make a faction out of it with Bianca and the Street Profits and have it just like they be together. You know what I mean? Like kind of like a Judgment Day, and then maybe even recruit one other person so they have 4. You know what I'm saying? I think it could be cool. Like, she could come out with them. I mean, she doesn't have to come out to her own music. I mean, she always can, like after they come out, but just coming out as a faction would be kind of cool. Like kind of a Judgment Day type of thing. But then they would have to recruit another person. But I imagine they got plenty of other sisters and brothers that they could add, or someone else that they could add to the group that they think would be a good fit. Ali at the top. Oh my God. Especially because he's so much smaller, It just makes the moves look so much more impressive. Told you this match was going to be good. Sleeper, because like I said, Gunther is so physical. Ali is so athletic. It normally on paper could be like, oh, this has a potential not to be that good. Not to me. To me, it looked like it could be like a special sleeper match, maybe the sleeper match of the night. It don't look the greatest. It looks like it could be an 8, but there's potential for it to be a 9 or 10, depending on the moves that Ali does, how they sell the moves, and how physical Gunther, aka Walter, is. We saw that. And to me, that this was like a 9, 9.5. This was solid. Yeah, good match. So far, so good with the pay-per-view. And Gunther. Kevin Owens. Hell yeah, I love that shirt. It's my guy, Razor Ramon, bro. Fuck yeah, it's the first thing I saw too, bro.
Even if it ended tonight, this has been. Why would it end tonight? What is that? No, it's not going to end. Right. But hang on. Hang on a second. We have to at least acknowledge the fact that Roman Reigns is celebrating 1,000 days as champion, and now he wants more championships. And there's one thing about Roman, you have to admit he finds a way. He screwed both of us many times before. We have to at least be. Yeah. You know what? You're right. You're right. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, I can acknowledge that. But you know, that's the only thing I was acknowledge, because here's the other thing. Here's something Roman Reigns needs to acknowledge. We won those tag titles from the Usos. Usos are more of a tag team than Roman and Solo have ever been, right? But here's the other thing I'll acknowledge. I'm so sick of hearing about Roman Reigns and his 1,000 days. Yeah, he's had his day. He's had 1,000 of them. Today is not his day. Today is our day. That's what you need to think about. I didn't come all this way to lose these titles. No, today is our day. Today, Solo loses. Today, Roman Reigns loses. Yeah?
Let's go.
Yeah.
But it might not be them. It might be someone helping them out, baby. You got a Jimmy and Jay. A betrayal. Will we get it? Or will it just be Solo? He'd be like, fuck you, bro. Bah, bah. But it's not going to necessarily be Solo, because I don't think, they're still going to keep something together. You know, they're not going to just eliminate the bloodline, and have Solo do that. Oh, there's LA Knight. They're like, LA, you can't be in the back. You got to be in the row, and you got to pay for your ticket, biatch. Because I'm LA Knight. I'm going to go check up on Paisley here real quick while we got a little bit of a break. Let's go, baby. Let's fucking go. So far, so good. Let's go, baby. I'm enjoying the pay-per-view. I know it's hella early and whatnot, and I'm going to be doing another stream a few hours from now at 5 p.m. for the Stars and the Golden Knights, but I'm really enjoying this. All right, let me go check up on Paisley here real quick. Give me a minute. Woo, look at that belt.
Let's see the road these competitors traveled to get here tonight. You know, Hot Wheels, they just got a whole lot bigger. We're turning nostalgic cars from the past. This was my very first car into out of this world, life-size Hot Wheels. We want this car to go as high as we can get. If you can dream it, we can build it. Hot Wheels Ultimate Challenge premieres Tuesday on NBC.
The long-lasting scent of Game Flames made it smell like Dave was in his happy place. The massage chair at the mall. But he wasn't. Game Flames with Oxy Boost with Febreze. New Game plus Ultra Oxy. Now at Walmart.
From every detail, a bold, sculpted design.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I love Bianca, and everything that she's been able to bring, and it's a kind of a breath of fresh air, to be able to have someone after Charlotte, but still wrestles like Charlotte, and on top of that, for her being black, on top of that too, and having a black wrestler, to be able to have this type of superstardom on the female level is incredible. Obviously, a lot of young girls are going to look up to her, but like you were saying before, even if they end up making her heel, it's not like she's going to be like, fuck them kids, you know what I mean? It's not going to go to that extent, you know what I mean? But they could definitely have her, rival up, and have her feud with, some faces and just naturally go into kind of a heel role. But I am hoping Asuka wins tonight. And most of the time we're like, oh, there's no chance. But, with Charlotte dropping, the belt, and obviously Ripley having her, time to shine, which is so good. I'm really hoping that Asuka gets her chance. But if not, at some point, they got to give her a chance. Is it going to be tonight? Well, I guess we're going to find out, but I really hope it is tonight. It would be awesome. I think all of us are on the same boat, right? We all want Asuka to win. I think because we all have that appreciation, right? We already know how good Bianca is. We like her. We love her. We know that she brings to the business. Her and Charlotte are almost irreplaceable based on what they do on the top rope and their aura and their vibe, right? But Ripley and Asuka, to me, are underappreciated, but now Ripley is getting appreciated. And it'd just be nice to be able to have those two appreciated in the same light, because I don't think Ripley and Asuka are that far lower than Bianca and Charlotte. And if anything, they're on the same level as them, and they have potential to even, push them, to greater heights. So we'll see what happens. I think all of us are going for Asuka. And like I said, it's not like we don't like Bianca. We all like her. We all respect that she's champ, like when Charlotte is as well. But sometimes you just want a change, just like with this Roman thing. It would have been nice to have a Seth or an AJ, but in that end, they're trying to make him the best of all time. But with Bianca and Charlotte, there's no need really for that, right? And it's just cool to celebrate others that are deserving. And Asuka is probably the most deserving woman or man as far as belts, right? Think about what she's done in the ring. She never has bad matches. You know what I mean? Sometimes gets hurt, at untimely moments, which kind of put the career on kind of a standby. Because same thing with like Finn Balor when he got hurt, right? But there is always time, as long as they can get healthy, that they can have their moment. And of course, I would love Asuka to have her moment like at WrestleMania, SummerSlam, like one of the big pay-per-views. But hell, if she gets the belt here, you know what I mean? I know it's going to be super special and she'll be crying inside. And I don't know if I think to us hardcore fans, she's loved, right? But by the traditional fan, I don't think they care about her, and then maybe people are like, and I don't even necessarily think it's just because she's Asian, you know what I mean? But I just, everyone's going to have their favorites. She doesn't really look like anyone else. There's a few, EO, we got a few of the Japanese wrestlers and stuff, but they don't really get pushed. Japanese wrestlers in WWE and AEW, they don't really get pushed the same way as some of the others, right? So this would be very, very cool to be able to see her achieve some greatness for once, because, she's too good not to be able to have belts around her waist. That's facts. I've always liked her. So technical. Let's go. I mean, I think they did Shinsuke Nakamura kind of dirty. They could have did him better too. But if I had to choose between Shinsuke or Asuka, obviously I probably would have to go Asuka. They just buried Shinsuke so much that there's not going to be, any type of run. Like, you can't even imagine Shinsuke with like an IC because they buried him so much. Like, the only thing I can see for him is like maybe a tag belt or something. That's sad, but with Asuka, she can have anything, because she's on that same level with Bianca, Charlotte, and Ripley. I don't think Bianca and Charlotte are better than Ripley and Asuka, honestly. I mean, it all depends on who has the belt, and who gets the love. Who do they want to promote? Who do they want to make money off of? Who do they want to sell merch off of? And obviously Bianca and Charlotte are the most athletic, but I think for unique, it's Ripley, and I love Judgment Day, and Asuka is the most, deserving athlete. And obviously being like a technical wrestler, she is fantastic. This should be a good match. Well, I'm glad you guys are all on board, and I think you guys, like I said, I get it. If you get like an occasional fan, they'll just be like Bianca Belair, they'll be like, fuck Asuka, they don't care, but you have to look at someone's career as a whole, and it just, I get it. Sometimes it's next man or next woman up, and you have to wait your turn and whatnot. But how many times has Asuka been waiting? You know what I'm saying? It's like Ripley didn't have to wait as long, and she got to have her moment. Let's have Asuka. Let me get Asuka's moment. Asuka's my cousin. She's same area as my mom, Osaka. That's where my mom was born. This has potential to be an 8, 9, or 10. Hopefully closer to the 9 and 10 part. It's like if it's like a bad match, it'll be 8, but I don't see that happening. It's like the only time you could actually have a bad match, and it would be a fucking 8. But I don't see it happening. This is going to be a banger. This should be about like a 9 or a 10. Yeah, 8.5 to 9. Yeah. I mean, at the lowest an 8, at the highest 9.5. I don't know if we're going to get a 10, but I guess if we do get an amazing match, which I have a feeling, it could be a 10. And especially if we get the belt change at the very end, if it's a banger match and then Asuka gets the belt, then it's going to be a 10. Or if you just want to be fickle about it, 9.5. But I think it has potential if we get the belt change and we end up having this amazing match, then yeah. But at the very lowest, 8, 8.5 should be very good. What are the chances in this particular pay-per-view that Asuka actually gets it? Because, normally when we watch pay-per-views, like we knew Ali wasn't going to beat Gunther, right? Like 100%, there's no chance. Like, and we know this as fans because we watch wrestling enough that we know, most of the time if there's going to be a surprise or if someone is going to get a belt change. And normally in the past, Asuka, that it would be a good match, but she had no chance, not against a Charlotte or a Bianca Belair in the past. But for today, do we actually think that WWE would make this change? And I guess it depends on what they have in store for Bianca after this, right?
So Bianca has championship advantage tonight. Asuka's got to pin or submit Bianca with the title. So Bianca needs to stick with what brought her to the dance, that being her power. You're not going to win a submission matchup against Asuka.
How would you guys rank those 4? Bianca, Charlotte, Asuka, and Ripley. How would you guys rank those 4? Like, whose matches are you most entertained by out of those 4 wrestlers? I mean, obviously Bianca and Charlotte are almost like mirror images of each other, except obviously one's Caucasian and one's black, one's white, one's black, right? But they both do incredible things with power, and they can do things off the top rope and in between the ropes that the other wrestlers just can't do on the roster. The athleticism is real, right? But then you also get Ripley and Asuka that they might not be able to do the crazy shit off the top rope with like moonsaults and all that, but they bring some other type of flavor, to the ring. Technical wrestling and other moves as well. So. Oh, Asuka, let's go. That's how you would rank them. And what is this ranking for you? This is your favorite or who you enjoy to watch wrestle? How do you those ranking of those 4 or just as of right now, like what is that in your rankings 1 through 4? Like those are like the most watchable to you or like based off career? Like how are you doing that ranking? Just based on like who you like to watch wrestle? Charlotte, Asuka, Ripley, and Belair. Fluent in the ring. Yeah. Yeah. And obviously, whether people want to admit it or not, Charlotte's probably going to go down in history as the best female wrestler ever. I mean, depending on how much longer she wrestles for, how many more belts she gets, how many runs she gets. But I mean, I don't know if there's been anyone ever like there was nobody, in the Diva era that was on the Charlotte level. You know what I mean? Like you had Trish and, Lita and a few of these people. And then obviously with the Bellas and all that, but not on the Charlotte level. It's my cousin. I don't know. I just want WWE fans to appreciate Asuka as much as I think wrestling hardcore fans do. Because imagine if Asuka went to AEW. What do you think her reaction would be if she went to AEW? They would go fucking crazy. You know what I mean? Like her level of popularity would spike like tenfold if she went over there. I know that's not going to probably happen, but they have appreciation for that kind of ECW, AEW type of style. You know what I mean? They really do appreciate that. That type of wrestling, strong style. And I just want her to be able to get that proper love. You know what I mean? I don't think that's too much to ask, It's like, yeah, I know she's Asian and she's, foreign, but fuck, man. Like, every, man or woman or any race, deserves to be able to get a little shot, at a little bit of love, a little bit of gold around the waist, And obviously we know the WWE ladies are much better than the AEW ladies, but obviously if you've been building the women's division for 20, 30 years and then you have a new company start up, it's going to be hard to compete with something that's already been built that long. Where would you put Sasha Banks in your guys's, if she was still there, where would you put Sasha Banks in there in your guys's? Would she be like kind of in the middle? Like not at the very top for anyone, but maybe like, third or fourth? Asuka, Charlotte, Rhea, Belair. Yeah. See, I like it. You guys are actually smart and you actually know wrestling. It's like you try to have like, it's like when you try to have like an intelligent conversation about stuff, but you can just tell the person doesn't watch or they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Yeah. No, I hear you. Another one that you could add to that too, Seth, Kenny, AJ, and how about Will Ospreay? Motherfucker makes everything look so great and easy. Like when Kenny, Omega, and Ospreay get together, it's like 5-star match every time. Like you see things in that match that you don't see in most matches ever anywhere else. Sasha would be 7 in your list of 10. Because Sasha also is one of those ones that doesn't really is smooth. She's kind of like Becky Lynch. Sometimes is a little erratic and not as smooth as some of the other wrestlers. But entertainment value and what she does, I think she was very special. And she's going to be able to make money and be in any federation, moving forward. But I feel that, for me, she would be probably like in the middle, I mean, remember Sasha Banks and Bayley and NXT? I mean, Sasha's had some pretty good matches over the years. Oh, man, that's tough, man. I mean, obviously, I'm a big Charlotte fan, and, I like to be able to see the greatness. Of course, they've given her a few extra titles that didn't need to be given. They could have given it to, like, Asuka back then, but they're trying to build her legacy, so I get it. But Charlotte will always be my number one, and that's never going to change. She will always be the top because, not just because of Ric Flair and the name, but I think that she lived up to the Ric Flair name and kind of surpassed it. It's like Ric Flair is Ric Flair, and she used to be Ric Flair's daughter, but then you started to realize like how great she really was. And to me, it's probably the best female wrestler that we may ever see in quite some time. I mean, I don't know if there's going to be another Charlotte Flair anytime soon. I know they're trying to groom Bianca to be the next one, but I just don't think she'll be, on that level. Close, but I don't think, I don't think Bianca will be ever as smooth as Charlotte, but oh, that's tough. And I'm a big Ripley fan. I really like, the wrestlers. I like people that are a little bit chubbier. I like people that are foreign. I like people that don't necessarily look like the traditional, wrestler, guy or girl. Like, if a girl, doesn't necessarily look like a Playboy Playmate, you know what I mean? And is a little different. And some people are like, oh, I mean, I can't be a fan of this, or this isn't that good. But you got to get past the, it's gimmicks, it's looks. But I just love the emo and the kind of the goth vibe. And I wish that we had a little bit more of that. Tattoos, like give me something different. Not every woman wrestler has to look like she has to be on Sports Illustrated. You know what I mean? And it's wrestling, and I want to be able to see mic skills. So Ripley is up there for me as well. But oh man, that is tough. Yeah, and the AEW division, I mean, even Dr. Britt Baker, even if she was over here, she wouldn't even be top 5. I mean, she's good that she's over there in AEW, but her skill set, she would be somewhere like 6 through 10 on a female roster in WWE, probably not top 5. So, but again, she had no training whatsoever. I mean, she's a fucking dentist, so for someone to be a fucking dentist, you know what I mean, and have like 2 jobs and then to learn how to talk on the mic, from her boyfriend, you know what I mean, Adam Cole Bebe, I think her career is pretty fucking amazing. So even though Dr. Britt Baker might not be the most athletic or best, I really respect that what she's done, and they built something there. Now the female division is nowhere near this, but hopefully they get a couple people to leave and come over, then they can be a little bit closer. Luna Vachon, yeah, old school. My Macho Man, Miss Elizabeth, the old school days. Oscar lock. All right, I'm going to try to make my list. God, this is tough. I think this is mine right here. If I'm just doing a 4, so I'm going Charlotte, Asuka, Ripley, and Belair. But Ripley's closer to Asuka than people think. It's I like the potential there, and it's not like I think Belair's bad or you know what I mean. But I just think that if I had an option to watch the other 3, I think I would rather watch the other 3, unless I get one of those matched up like we have here today, where we actually have Bianca and Asuka going at it. So. And obviously, people could be like, oh, you're biased because you're Japanese and Asuka's Japanese. But I just think entertainment value, whether she has the belt or not, she puts on entertaining matches. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't need the belt to have validation that she's one of the best ever. And honestly, if they did give Asuka the belt for a year, 2 years straight, that would make her legacy different and people would look at her differently. You know what I mean? It's like they've been sleeping on her talent all these years just because she hasn't had a belt to be able to say, look at me, I have a belt and that's what makes me good. We know who the good wrestlers are, and the wrestlers that have deserved belts but just haven't got them because they're pushing other wrestlers. Sometimes the right one and sometimes maybe the one that they're just trying to profit off of, Yeah. And then if I had Sasha on there, I don't know. Yeah, Sasha probably, I don't know. I've got to think of all the other people that I like watching and whatnot. But I mean, I did enjoy Sasha Banks matches, She's a little undersized and she's, a little fiery and whatnot. Sometimes smooth, but sometimes a little erratic, Not every wrestler can be smooth, not everyone's going to be a Charlotte or a Bianca, or Asuka, And I almost feel bad putting Belair fourth, and I know all of us pretty much did that, but at least I think we recognize that, for entertainment value, it's not like Bianca's bad. She's the future of the company with Ripley. We get that, but it's just great representation, for the emo and the goth with Ripley. Obviously, Asuka being Japanese and then Bianca being African-American, and just having just a little bit of greatness in different races across the globe to showcase that it doesn't always have to be one or the other. Like, you can get greatness anywhere on the globe. And it's cool to see that type of representation that we have. And honestly, you can put that order. You can flip that order. I mean, some people might say Charlotte, Belair, Ripley, and then Asuka fourth. And I can't get mad at that if they want to go that route. So he's a Luna Vachon. Yeah. That's what I like about you two, bro. You know what I mean? Like, you don't necessarily look for the people that look like models. You look at people that you like. You know what I mean? And sometimes they might be a little bit thicker of a wrestler. They might have a different style that's not like everyone else, but that's what makes them cool. That's what makes them different, unique. You know what I mean? That's what, makes them awesome. Just like in the 80s and 90s with the gimmicks, man. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, Asuka. Let's go. I need a belt change. Come on. 1, 2. Yes. Yeah. Woo! Yes. I wish they did this somewhere other than, Saudi Arabia. It'd be really cool if WWE actually did a show in Japan. Could you imagine what the Japanese fans would be doing right now? You know what I mean? Or if you actually did it like in Canada or somewhere where they would actually cheer and appreciate, this moment. Inside, she's crying. You know what I mean? She feels good. You know what I mean? And awesome. So deserving. So deserving. Let's go. We finally got it. You know what I mean? Remember those other pay-per-views where we knew she was involved, but she had no chance? This one, it felt like, that this could be the time, just like with, obviously Ripley getting her chance, right? Finally, we get the fans. We get what we want. Awesome. And we got to watch it all together. Let's go. Well, that match, what would we grade that match now? We had a belt change, which is very surprising, right? That normally doesn't happen, for someone like that. I love it, man. And like I said, maybe some American fans won't appreciate Asuka. They'll never appreciate her, regardless if she's Asian or not. But how cool is this? This is, like I said, if you look at like the Japanese fans and the way that they appreciate, things like wrestling and baseball, I mean, it's so precious to us, how much it really does mean. Awesome. I've been waiting years for this moment for her to get some love. And obviously Ripley got her moment probably a little bit sooner than people thought. But as soon as she got the Royal Rumble, you already knew, coming out first, winning it all, it's inevitable. You're winning a belt. It's going to happen, Man, I am excited. This is so cool, dude. A little Asian representation on the timeline. Let's go. And I like it that you guys appreciate her too, because I feel a lot of fans don't. You know what I mean? I think a lot of fans don't appreciate, and it's like, sometimes people only appreciate people that have the strap, that have the belt. They don't got a belt, then they're just nobody, but as fans, we know that's not true. So yeah, I'm happy they did it, man. She's so deserving. I mean, if you're already going to give it to Ripley, you might as well give it to Asuka, and like I said, she's a fantastic wrestler. She may not look like a model, but for that look and the gimmick, it's super dope, man. And she didn't even need to do the whole face paint thing. She, kind of tried to reinvent herself for this next run. Awesome. Let's go, dude. Dude, for a pay-per-view starting at 10 a.m., dude, this one is really, really good. And I'm very critical on wrestling. I'm real critical on WWE and AEW, and, ROH and JPW. I mean, if wrestling's good, it's good. If it's not, I'm going to let you know, and you guys are the same. This pay-per-view, surprisingly, is really turning out to be a mini classic so far. I'm going to remember a lot of the things that happened in this pay-per-view. I love it, man. Asuka and Ripley as champs, not Charlotte, not Bianca Belair. You know what I mean? Like, and if you got to think who is the most deserving under Charlotte and Bianca Belair, those two. And Ripley, I get it. You already gave her the push. You saw the momentum, and you put her in the match to win the Royal Rumble, you knew that that was your golden child. That was the person that you want to have as like, the face of the women's division after Charlotte and Bianca Belair. And then Asuka will just be secondary. But hell, secondary or not, secondary to Ripley, who cares? You got a belt. And for her legacy, it's fucking so worth it, man. I love it. I love it, man. Oh, it's Elliot. This is one of the best pay-per-views in years. Because normally when they have like 7 matches, we'll have 3 good ones, 3 awesome ones, 2 good ones, and 2 shitty ones, right? But today, when I looked at the card, I was like, maybe 6 out of 7 could be bangers. And pretty impressed, man. It's good. And not just good. It's, it's the potential to be great, especially if we get 5 out of 7 or 6 out of 7, Oh, please. Yes. If I can actually, and that's another person that, is kind of undersized, but Io does the high flying moves like Charlotte and Bianca Belair, but she's just kind of tiny. You know what I mean? But she's got one of the best intros for wrestlers. Io Sky. Love that. And Damage Control. I'm really sad that obviously Dakota Kai had the ACL tear out for 6 to 9 months, but yeah, that would be sweet. Yeah. I mean, Walter Gunther is like a Vince guy because Vince likes bigs like Roman and Gunther, right? But man, it feels good to love WWE again. It feels good to, I've never lost love for wrestling. I've never stopped watching. I've never stopped collecting. My favorite thing to wear is wrestling merch or sport merch. So I got like sport team merch, Mariners, Blazers, Bucks, Ducks. But I actually prefer watching wrestling, wearing wrestling merch, and I love collecting the figures and the rings and, hell, I got all kinds of shit on my desk here. I got Luke and Butch, the Bushwhackers. I got Hulk Hogan. I got Hollywood Hogan. Hell, I got the Big Boss Man here. This is a part of my life. All right, this is never going to change. What you know about that? What you know about the Big Boss Man? Memories, man. My favorite right here. What you know about this? Dude, the best thing of all time. Are you kidding me? It don't get any better than that. You fucking kidding me? Dude, get out of here. This is my toy as a kid, dude. And then I would chase my dad around the house doing this exact same move and just beating the shit out of my dad, chasing after him in the hallway. Luke and Butch. We still talk about the Bushwhackers to this day. It's funny how certain, my Legion of Doom, Animal and Hawk, the Road Warriors. Oh, what a rush. Always will be my favorite as a kid. But, even guys like the Bushwhackers, being weird and, licking each other's heads and just being kind of oddballs, it's kind of funny that those guys still have an impact on my life to this day. Yeah, happy birthday, Natty. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Oh, wow. Keep me updated on that, brother. Yeah, and then they're going to give Dom a push, I assume, too. He just needs to get better on the mic. They already hate him. He's already a heel. You know what I mean? But obviously, he wouldn't end up being this popular if he wasn't paired with Ripley or with Judgment Day. So, it was nice. You got, Edge out of there. You had Finn come in. It's a good faction. It's actually my favorite faction out of any faction that's in AEW or WWE right now. It gives me Undertaker vibes. It's kind of dark. I like the colors, black and purple. Obviously, I like the dark vibe, obviously, with her with emo goth. It just fits, you know what I mean? And obviously, we know with Dom, you know what I mean? It's going to be hard to live up to Ray. Ray will always be a face. Dom can be the biggest heel. He just needs to get better in the ring and better on the microphone. You know what I mean? But he's in good hands right now, you know what I mean, where he doesn't have to have all the pressure on him. He could just be the guy, like, he's like, they're mentoring him. They're trying to get him to get to that level of Damian Priest and the Ripley and the, Finn Balor. You know what I'm saying? But if Dom can get better on the mic and get better in the ring, there could be a nice, bright future for him. Better than we ever anticipated. I'll tell you that. But his mic skills are still kind of shitty. You know what I mean? There's times where he stutters and forgets his lines and everything. They just need to let him freestyle and just let him, but they can't let him do that yet because he's not good enough. But once he gets good enough, they just should let him, freestyle it so he can talk shit, because anything that he says, he gets booed right away anyway. So, man, I can't believe Asuka won. I'm so excited, man. I mean, my weekend is fucking set just based off that. And then I got to have this match be better than this match just to prove Lenny D that this is going to be better. Natty's lost weight. Look at her. Face is a lot thinner than it was before. Yeah. Bullet Club Gold. What do you mean? Is that the AEW? Love me some Ripley. I mean, honestly, if they wanted to, you could make Ripley the next Charlotte Flair. Like, you could have Ripley actually be like bigger than Bianca. Like, if you really wanted to, like, you know what I mean? It just depends on, obviously, Ripley merch isn't going to sell as much as Bianca merch, you know, and whatnot, depending on the angle you want to go to. But the Judgment Day is dope. I love it. And like I said, Ripley, depending on how they want to use her and everything, but she could be bigger than Bianca Belair, and that's saying something. You know, it just depends on how they book her long term. But, you know, everyone thinks, oh, after Charlotte Flair, it's going to be Bianca. She's the face. I would personally rather see Ripley be the face. But I have a hell of a lot of respect for Bianca, too. Yeah, Jay White and Juice Robinson, they're crazy on AEW, bro. Yeah, of course the went to jail gimmick is dumb. Yeah, I get it. You know what I mean? But they're just trying to work with what they have. And, you know, him just being a face or him being by himself as a face or a heel wasn't going to get him over. You know what I mean? So then they, did the perfect thing against Rey. You know what I mean? And obviously he's never going to be as good of a wrestler as Rey Mysterio. Never, never, never. Right? You know what I mean? But what he can do is improve on the mic and just be that biggest dick and, you know, really have that swagger and come out, improve his skill in the ring. And then maybe one day Dom will be like an IC champ. I know that's saying a lot. And, I know he's not near that level yet. But if they wanted to, put the strap. What? That's it? Whoa, 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 whoa. They squashed Natty like that? Oh, my God. Well, that was fast. I don't like that. I mean, that makes Ripley look good and like dominant. But well, I guess you were right, Lenny D. I did not anticipate the match being short, so I guess you're right. Well, but I don't think you anticipated it being short either. I was like, what? It's over? I mean, when you have short matches, you're making yourself look dominant like Brock Lesnar. But that's way too short for Ripley. I've been waiting all weekend to watch her wrestle, and I literally got, 3 minutes? I feel cheated a little bit. What the heck, man? I mean, Natty deserved better than that. I mean, she could at least did a couple more moves and did some spots instead of just being like the punching bag. I mean, they're trying to make Ripley like Brock Lesnar. Is that what it is? I mean, I love Ripley, but I mean, as far as matches are concerned, yeah, obviously that's I hate to say it, the worst match of the night because Ripley doesn't have bad matches, but why did they do that? I mean, I know you want to give more time for this and more time for this, but don't shortchange me when I've been waiting all weekend for this. And then you at least give me 10 minutes, not 3 to 5. Let me at least see Natty do a couple spots. Let me see Ripley do a few more moves, I feel cheated, but I feel like, okay, you gave me Asuka, so I can't be that pissed off, but. Yeah, well, that's the ending. I wanted Asuka to win, so I don't mind any way that Asuka win when she won, cheating or not. You know what I mean? Like, I just wanted Asuka to get the belt. Cheating or no cheating, I could care less. Odin said one. Oh my. Yeah, that was terrible. I mean, that match had a potential to be like a 7 or an 8, and then they just. Oh man, that was. Okay. Well, I guess we can't be happy about everything, right? It's my guy. Woo! Yes, it has. 4 years. The disrespect is so real.
I know it feels right now, but I gotta ask about going forward, the future. What does the future of Raw look like with you on top of the mountain? Well, the more things change, Saxman, the more they stay the same. I will be there this Monday night live on Raw, and every single Monday night moving forward. The only difference, I got World Heavyweight Championship things on my mind because I am.
Let's go.
I am a revolutionary. Finally, World Heavyweight Champion.
Boogs. Seriously, I was telling you, man, they've disrespected him for a long time. He could have, remember when we were talking about it before in the last couple pay-per-views, we thought Cody should win and more deserving and whatnot. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and obviously, bringing Cody, to kind of reinvent, obviously himself and trying to win the belt for his dad and whatnot. So 4 years, bro. That's what I'm saying. I know it doesn't sound like that, but that's why I felt the way that I did. And I can totally understand the Cody. He's going to end up, getting something at some point. And you've seen Cody's popularity get to an all-time high now, making a name for himself in AEW with the company and then coming here and taking that popularity even to another level, with some of the feuds with like Seth Rollins and Brock and Roman. So taking advantage of the merch sales and the money. Man, I mean, this potentially could have been 6 out of 7, but it looks like we're going to have 5 out of 7. So we got a disappointment here. This one was just, all right, 6 to 7.5, nothing too crazy. So we got a couple kind of letdowns where they could have been a little bit better. This one was a solid 9. If you want to go higher than that, belt change too, right? This is a 10, so that's great. This one was a solid, 8.5 to a 9.5, wherever you want to put it. And then we got this. Hopefully this will be an 8 to a 9. And then hopefully this will be an 8 to a 10. So, I mean, 5 out of 7 ain't bad, right? You just want the female matches to kind of stack up to some of the men. But, I mean, this one and this one obviously fell short. This one really fell short. This one made up for the other two. And so this one was great. This one was terrible. This one was okay. Above average, but not like, oh, my God, like a good 6 to 7.5, a good average match, but nothing too crazy. Why do they have to hit us with a 1 to a 5 rating? I mean, 3 minutes? I mean, that's why we got so pissed off on Brock Lesnar matches, because they would last like 3 to 5 minutes sometimes. I mean, the fans deserve better. I know, on her birthday too. You know what I mean? Impossible. Bro, I'm a Mariner fan. Trust me, I go through that fucking every day. I could have bases loaded and I wouldn't even get it. I could have bases loaded, no outs, and get nothing, no runs after that. I mean, it's just, or you got a guy on first and second, no, double play, and then you have first and second the next inning, double play. Yeah, it sucks, man. I got the Wolfpack on today, baby. NWO, new world order for life, brother. Oh, yeah. So I don't know. What are we thinking about this one? We already saw a fucked up ending with the Ripley matches, and then he's got a broken arm. So what are we going to get from this? This is going to be like a quick match, like 5 to 10 minutes, and we're not going to see Cody be able to do a whole lot because his arm is broken. So just, Brock is just going to keep, beating on him, and then Cody will have a couple moves, come back, and then I assume they're going to have Cody win. I would assume, I mean, you're not trying to bury the guy after he lost to Roman. He's trying to be able to, make himself have this like, emotional story of going through all this, trials and tribulation. Because if Brock wins, it doesn't fucking matter. But for Cody, it's like you're trying to have him maybe be the guy that beats Roman, him or Seth or MJF, someone, Walter, Gunther, Yeah, I wonder if Natty did get hurt. That might be another. We'll have to find out later tonight. So, I mean, that might be the only thing that makes sense for me in that match is maybe she did get hurt. But if that's a squash match, I mean, we deserve better. If you're going to squash, give us 5 to 10 minutes, not 3. I mean, like that match, like some people went to the bathroom and that shit was over. All right, we got Brock Lesnar now. All right, we got 2 matches left, Brock and Cody, and then the main event. Overall, I've been pretty pleased with this pay-per-view. I think the last few that we've watched together, have been getting on my good side. It's like I'm trying to, be critical, but I also have to give credit where credit's due. 5 out of 7 would be a fantastic win for them. Because normally it's going to be, 3 out of 7, awesome, 2 okay, 2 bad. So if we can get those 2 that are good and turn those into bangers too, and we have 5 bangers, 1 okay and 1 terrible, that's pretty damn good for WWE standards, And obviously the one that's terrible was just the squash match, and that one could have been at least as good as the other match with Becky and Trish. That could have at least been a 6 to a 7.5. Now, well, I guess the reports will come out and we'll find out if Natty's hurt or not, or if they just plan to make her look dominant, like she's the next Brock Lesnar but a female. She's dominant. And obviously Belair and Charlotte are more natural faces, and then they can make them a heel. Charlotte can go either way. But obviously with Ripley and her look with the emo vibes and kind of like goth vibes and being a part of Judgment Day that already has a dark presence and aura, they're already heels. So, maybe just having the heel have that long-term success, because Ripley as a face doesn't work the same as Ripley as a heel. Facts. All right, we'll see if the crowd will cheer for Cody, which I assume they will, and they'll sing the song, and they'll whoa, 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 whoa. Sing it. This is a dope intro, though. Sing it, baby. Whoa! Let's go. And even though they don't sing the whoa, whoa, whoa like Seth Rollins, I mean, everyone does the whoa. You know what I mean? Like, it's a universal whoa where you're going to get that pop no matter where you go in the globe. That's when you know you're over. Even if they don't like you, they still do it. That's when you know you're over. When they don't even like you, but it's such a thing of pop culture where everyone is doing it, where even the haters are doing it too. Yeah. And another cool thing that he gives away this wrestling belt. One of the coolest items that you can get from anybody in wrestling, and just to be able to give that away, unbelievable. That's on eBay already. He got it right there. That kid is losing it. But that belt right there, if you get it from him, that's an easy $100 to $300 right there. Cool piece of memorabilia. I mean, you can get a belt, but not Cody's wrestling belt. Pretty cool, man. And then you're going to be a fan forever, Shit, you could probably get even more than that. There probably is a diehard Cody fan that would probably pay, $400 or $500 for that belt if it was the actual belt that he gave away, that he actually was wearing. It's actually like game used, wrestler used, even though he didn't wrestle with it, but came down and gave it away. Probably, a good $200 to $500 for that piece of memorabilia, and then getting it signed after. Yeah, but no one cheered for the whoa. until he came over to WWE. And, obviously they seen the success that he had in AEW. I mean, he had some crazy banger matches, cage matches where he jumped off the top of the cage. Like in the first few years of AEW, Cody had some 8, 9s, and 10s. He reinvented himself and actually was good on the mic and had some great matches in AEW. And that's what brought him this fame. And then WWE tried to capitalize off, that fame, and then putting him in matches with Seth and obviously Torn Peck and now Brock and Roman. And, they're not burying him, which is good. If you're going to switch companies, you have to use Cody as a superstar. And I'm glad they didn't bury him in mid-card hell, so at least they paid him the money to come over, but they're using him as they paid him, and the fans are reciprocating that because obviously he's over. Oh, dashing. Oh, really? Now you're going way back, Lenny. You're going way back. Lenny D's favorite, Stardust. Oh, we're not getting a no-hitter on the Pirates. Bro, they had 7 home runs. I did the game last night. We got fucking embarrassed. That was the most home runs the Pirates hit all season. And Luis has not been very good for us in the last, month. So, yeah, no, I wish, bro, but, yeah, that ain't happening. I wish that I would be shocked if, he hasn't been very good in the last month. But our overall vibe, though, we have one of the best starting pitching rotations, though, with Luis Castillo, Logan Gilbert, Bryce Miller, George Kirby, and Marco Gonzalez. So wishful thinking, though, and I like your positivity, Elliot. But I don't know if you watched the game last night. But if you watched the game last night, you probably wouldn't have said that. It was kind of ugly. I mean, we fucking lost 11-6, bro. But if it does, I look like a genius. You're my boy. You're always a genius. Now, if he was still on a heater, I would say, yeah, maybe, no hitter to a 2-hitter could be possible. But if you actually go back and look at his last, 5 starts, some of them haven't been too pretty. There we go. Because that was my thing about Cody. If he's going to come over, I don't want, Triple H to bury him based on, when they first started AEW and they had the chair, like the Triple H thing. And then he had the sledgehammer and he broke it, you know what I mean? Kind of like a F you to Triple H, but again, what's best for business. You may not like a guy, but, if it's going to bring ratings and you sell merch and it's going to help the company overall, and they decided to bring him over. And I'm just happy that they decided to use him properly and not just bring him in and make a mockery of him, and just bury him, because I mean, obviously he could have just stayed in AEW, Yeah, but with being like one of the founders and whatnot and starting it off, with, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, and Khan, right? But I think like with Cody's career in AEW, it kind of like, how much more was he going to get? I mean, was he going to be able to, were the fans going to buy in him, beefing with like Moxley or, Dean Ambrose, Moxley, or Bryan Danielson, or Omega, or Jericho, or CM Punk, or whoever it may be? It's kind of like he peaked, as much as they probably could do with the wrestlers that they had. And now it was good time to leave to be able to maybe see if he could peak even higher on WWE with those wrestlers. And he obviously has, even if he never wins it from Roman. You know what I mean? Obviously he, took himself from being a low card, mid card guy, and now, a main event kind of guy. So yeah, Vince would have for sure. Yeah. So use that cast, baby. So Cody's got this cast on his arm, and his arm isn't even broken. Like, what's the details on Cody's real status on the arm? Is the actual arm injured at all, or is it just storyline? Is there any type of injury at all, like realistically? Is there a sprain? Is there a ligament tear? Is the bone slightly broken, or is it just like they're wearing it for show? Because I can imagine if you actually have a real broken arm, they're not going to advise anyone with a broken arm to fucking wrestle. You know, if it's legitimately busted up and needs to heal. You know what I mean? Woo, woo, woo. What you know about that? Woo, woo, woo. What you know about the woo, woo, woo? Fucking Zack Ryder. Cody's hulking up. And then after this pay-per-view is over, we'll have a couple hours off. And then I'll start prepping at probably 3:45 or 4. And then we'll end up doing the Stars and the Vegas Golden Knights in Game 5. And we'll do that stream. And then once that's done, we'll be done for today. And then we will go into maybe NASCAR, Coca-Cola 600, or we'll see what's going on Sunday. You going to a cookout? Send me some leftovers, bro. What kind of cookout? We're talking like ribs and like burgers and stuff? Dogs? Crossroads, baby. 2. And then obviously later tonight, we also have Boston and Miami, and I'll be watching that on the computer while we do the NHL matchup. So, I mean, there'll be some good stuff tonight, too. Today's a fun day. You know what I mean? You got this early WWE pay-per-view. Then you can take a little bit of a break, do whatever, take care of some errands. I'll spend some time with Paisley, and then, boom, we'll be back for tonight. And there's a little bit of baseball sprinkled in today, too. I hope the Mariners win, too. We got Mariners coming up at 1:10, so in about an hour. So I'll probably watch a little bit of that. 2. Nothing beats a cookout. Ribs, chicken, burgers, dogs. Damn, that sounds good. I'm over here eating fucking Aaron fingernails, and fucking Odin's having ribs, chicken, burgers, and dogs. Man, I'm telling you, those air sandwiches, they don't hit the same. Yeah, nom 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 nom. And I like a good mac salad and potato salad, corn on the cob. I like to be able to watermelon. I like to be able to have like a nice baked beans. I like to have like the fixins. Well, it wasn't a squash match. I'm already pissed off with the Ripley situation, how much I like her, and that was not fair to Natty unless she was hurt. You know what I mean? But had a feeling that this would be a little bit of back and forth. I mean, obviously, they can have Cody win or they can have Cody lose. And obviously, there's the ending. Kind of the ending that you probably didn't necessarily want, but a guy that's got a broken arm, he's tough. You know what I mean? I think I would have rather them not do the broken arm angle, and then they just went at it, and went crazy and just had a 20-minute banger and just went after each other. You know what I mean? Some salads. Yes. I mean, what do you expect? You know, a healthy Brock, to lose to one-arm Cody. It's one thing with the torn pec with Seth and everything, but I mean, if you lose to Brock Lesnar, it's not like you lose your popularity or your love from the fans, you know, regardless if you win or you lose, you know. Someone threw the cup. So, like, I mean, I don't really like the ending, but, you know, we already knew that we're going to have a fucked up ending on one or two matches, and we did. This was a fucked up ending, and this was a fucked up ending, but still, I would say 8. I don't know if I would give it an 8.5 or a 9 compared to some of the other matches I've seen. So we'll go 8 here. This should be a 10. Probably an 8.5 to a 9.5 here. You know, so I could go probably 9 here, 6 to 7.5 here, 10 here, 1 here, 1 to 5. Terrible, just because of the ending. And then this one would be probably a 9, and then maybe a 9.5 because we got the belt change. So, I mean, pretty fucking good pay-per-view. But if this one ends with a 10, then the overall pay-per-view will probably be like a 9, because that would mean that we have 5 good matches and then 2 that were underwhelming, you know. This one could have been better, and we already know this one could have been much better. But 5 out of 7, though, you know, I don't know if last time we've seen 5 out of 7. I don't think I've ever seen 5 out of 7 in WWE before, ever. Like in my history of my life, I don't think I've seen 5 good matches out of 7 ever. So this could be a historic day. I just, you know, and the crowd isn't terrible, but I almost think that this kind of card deserves like a Canadian crowd. You know, then it would have been able to take it to another level because of the energy, you know. Not saying that the Saudi fans aren't, you know, passionate, but it's not the same as a Canadian crowd or even that Puerto Rico crowd. Yeah, I like the match. Wish the ending was a little bit better. And like I said, we always know in WWE we're going to get upset with endings. It's always their MO. They always throw out, you know, something that looks like potentially an 8, and then something fucked up happens. Or this could be really good, an 8, 9, or 10, and then, you know, something kind of holds it back a little bit. So, all right, here we go, baby. Jimmy and Jay, the Bloodline, Solo. Who will make the change? Who will turn? And will they do something? Will Solo do something? Will, you know, Jimmy and Jay, you got one guy on board, one guy not on board. Are they going to be the reason that they lose the match? What are we going to get here? Openly help Sami and Kevin Owens, or openly just try to screw over Roman? There's kind of a difference. Oh, I'm excited about that. I mean, if I was super rich, it would be awesome to be able just to follow them from foreign country and just go to the pay-per-view. Oh, London would be lit. Fans there will be rowdy. But as we know, you know, unless it's like a New York crowd or like a Chicago crowd, there's not very many crowds in the United States that are lit, you know, that really bring that energy. Canada always brings the energy. You know, Wales, obviously Puerto Rico was impressive. You know what I mean? I just love the energy.
Seaside City. We are here at the Jeddah Dome tonight for Night of Champions. Jeddah is
Yeah, and as soon as this pay-per-view is over, I will make a post for the hockey matchup at 5, so that way I can get that out there and people can see it, and then we'll get all that situated. 1 minute and 10 seconds. Holy shit, dude. Even Brock Lesnar matches weren't 1 minute and 10 seconds. $60 in donos. Let's get to a hundo. Your boy doesn't want to get evicted. That's wild, man. That is wild. 1 minute, 10 second. Yeah, me too. It's going to be awesome.
Every time I ran on the field, I'd yell, "Let's go!" But where was I really going? Well, the depth of this man. Sometimes I just want to run a car. Go. You know? It's hard to know. I think I can help you with that. Really? We gonna go town. Where you gonna go? Spin that wheel. Looks like you are going in another vehicle. Let's go town. They got mountains and, more mountains. Let's go. What is happening here? Who's that? ¿Y si no puedo dejar de pensar en mi destino? ¿Y si todo lo que hago no es suficiente? Si manejo mi diabetes de otra manera. Ahora con un Yaro, una vez a la semana puedo hacerlo. Un Yaro ayuda a tu cuerpo a regular el azúcar.
Lenny D's favorite, Ronda Rousey. Well, we should have already known that this was going to be a lit pay-per-view with these two. And I didn't think anything was going to top this, so. But hopefully this ends up being entertaining. I mean, it's got potential, right? I'm going to go check up on Paisley, make sure that she's just snugging. She's my boo-boo. Omos, everyone's favorite. Omos with AJ Styles, good. Omos by himself, bad. Yeah. Like I said, if you start off with wrestling and then go into MMA, it's one thing. But when you're like MMA, like superstar, and then you try to come here, it would be like Conor McGregor, in his prime, and then him trying to come over and be like a wrestler. It's not going to work. You might be able to talk some shit on the mic, but even Ronda can't do that. You know what I mean? Like some people can, go from one and go to the other, but not everyone, can do it on a high level. And obviously you have to know how to punch. You have to know how to talk. You have to know how to be good on the mic. You have to know how to sell moves. You can't punch with a fist. It's got to be a little open. Like, there's just certain things that, she just can't do. I mean, and obviously they have her still with the company because of her name. You know what I mean? But let's go. Of course. I mean, as far as like, her overall athleticism, she's not like the worst athletic wrestler on the roster, but what she brings from where she was and where she's going and where she is right now, mic skills, not good. In the ring, not good. Selling moves, not good. Botching moves, really good. She's really good at that. But she's still getting paid, you know what I mean, and whatnot, but we don't really see her on TV that much. So obviously they're not giving her a push like a Bianca Belair, or, she'll have her moments where they want to be able to put a belt on her or to be able to have her in some kind of storyline. But yes. Let's go. Yeah, it's kind of like, with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, as far as like faces, I'm a heel guy all the way. You know what I mean? But when you're going against something like a faction, like the Bloodline, and they're naturally going to be the heels, and whatnot. I don't know if you can get a better, combo for faces that could also be heels, but then they definitely hold their own and that are very exciting. And it's these two, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is very underrated. He's always in my top 4. Love him. He's a little bit thicker of a wrestler, but he can still do the athletic things. And he has lost weight, but he can do the athletic things the skinnier guys can do. He's great on the mic. And Sami Zayn, like I said, the best part of the Bloodline for me, and that wasn't necessarily just Roman or the Usos, but for me, it was Sami Zayn. For them to give him an opportunity to talk and be funny and, be a part of the Bloodline, it was great for TV, man. He made them break character fucking on the daily. And then obviously tried to be Usi, then got kicked out, from, not being obviously the honorary Us, and then, being Usi, and then obviously going against the Bloodline. But to me, it got a chance for Sami to be able to take his career to the next level, with this storyline. And it also shows you how great Sami Zayn is on the mic, and that's facts. Underrated on the microphone, Sami Zayn. Great talker, great performer in the ring. I think Jimmy or Solo, and it might be Jay. Yeah, it could go that route too, where it could be that person, where you think it's going to be this one. Oh, maybe it's Solo. Oh, but what about if it's the one that really hasn't, shown any disrespect whatsoever? The last one that you would think, could be that too. They also have a couple other like cousins or brothers that are on the up and up. So I don't know when those guys are going to get introduced, but I know there's 2 more that are on the up and up that are coming at some point. I don't know when. But I know I was reading that they have 2 more, at least 2 more, that possibly could be coming in the next few years. So, tag belts are Velcro, are they? And I don't like the look of those belts. The red and the blue, those are ugly. They don't look good to me at all. You know what I mean? They need an upgrade on those belts. All right, here we go. Main event time. Let's go. Yep. Oh, yeah. It fits well. I mean, he finally got a chance to reinvent himself. You know what I mean? And he's gotten better on the microphone. It almost feels like it's the most like authentic version of Roman that we've gotten to see, because early on with the Shield, couldn't talk. Obviously, if you have Paul Heyman, whether you're Brock Lesnar or Roman, it shows that, you can't talk. You're a physical specimen, but you're not good on the microphone. And even Brock has gotten better on the mic as the years have gone along. I mean, at one point, Brock was terrible, and he's gotten, halfway decent, much better, on the mic than what he was. Still not great, but I mean, not terrible anymore. But Roman always had the look that Vince wanted, that big, steroid body look, heavyweight champ look. and now they're just running with it. But also too with the bloodline, it's one of the things where it ends up being a faction, but it's real life, it's blood, and like to come up with a clever faction name that actually means something, that actually is real. They are family, they are blood. That's, what I mean? How often does something like that happen? When you're trying to come up with a faction name and it's not just like, something that you're feeding off another name and trying to give it a little twist, or you're trying to change the first word or the last word. Everything with the whole bloodline that they've done has been magnificent storyline wise. And even though the Roman Reigns reign has been way too long, overall, the bloodline has actually been good for wrestling. It's been great for the Usos' career. It's been great for Solo, great for Sammy, good for Kevin Owens to get a little love. There's got to be, a David and Goliath story, right? And, all good things come to an end. So obviously we saw Jimmy and Jay lose the belts, right? So obviously we have to wait to see eventually when Roman loses and who it's going to be to, and if Roman tries to go into Hollywood and take a little bit of a break and whatnot. So I'm gonna come at you. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So I mean, of course, if you have the belt for 3 some years, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? You had your reign. You know what I mean? So I guess at that time, if you're looking to disappear, and then obviously do some other projects, and they have other people they can promote, and then you can make a surprise comeback at Royal Rumble or something, and and then start your feud with whoever at that point. Oh, for sure, bro. He said, I've encountered it before. They tried to beat me up, he said. I said, don't beat me up, Samoan. He said, pow, pow, Lenny D. Lenny D went from Lenny D to just D. Pow, pow. Well, hopefully this ends up being pretty good. Oh, yeah, Samoan's hella strong, bro. I had a few Hawaiian and Samoan people that went to my school when I was younger.
Superstars on the WWE roster.
Love Kevin Owens. And I love it that he's Canadian. I like Canadian wrestlers too. They just have a different type of swagger. You know what I mean? And they don't have to do like, anti-America like they used to do with like the whole Bret Hart thing or whatever. You know what I mean? Owen Hart, Bret Hart, Canada versus USA. It doesn't even have to be like that. I just love how authentic Kevin Owens is, and I love it how passionate and how much it means to him. You know what I mean? I don't know if I've seen anyone else, show that type of emotion, what it means to him and his kids and, his family and the fans. And oh, Sami Zayn hurt? Did they beat him up backstage? Oh, shit. Let's go. Sammy is way over. Absolutely. Which he should be. The bloodline story was great. And again, most people are going to be talking about Roman and the Usos, but it'll always be Sami Zayn for me. They gave him a chance. I imagine Vince was probably like, no, but Triple H is like, just give it a shot. And it worked out so good. I mean, you got, these, Samoans and the bloodline and then the goofiest looking guy that doesn't fit with those guys, and then you can actually find out how funny and how creative he can be. You know what I mean? They gave him a shot to really showcase his microphone skills and his personality. And I'll never forget that. It's a rare opportunity where a mid-card guy gets to be in the spotlight and really showcase what he can do and show you something that maybe you didn't think he could do. And that's awesome. You know what I mean? We can't ever underestimate the bloodline storyline and the Usi and joining and then obviously feuding. How great is that, man? Let's go, baby. Yo, 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 yo. Let's go. Name is Paul Heyman. Paul E. Dangerously. Oh, tough, bro. I imagine Heyman's has been living his best life. You know, you go from Brock Lesnar to Roman Reigns. I mean, that's got to be pretty sweet, man. As far as like a manager, 1,000th day. Let him know. I mean, plus, you know, having a guy like Paul Heyman, how can't that spike your ego a little bit? You know what I mean? If you're Brock Lesnar or Roman Reigns, if you had any doubts about yourself or your talent or your abilities, you know what I mean? Like at any point in the career, you know, big hype man. I love it. It's like talking Arabic to them. This is why Sammy is a legend. Who else would be doing this? Dressing up, you know, and you know, because obviously he was going to be banned from coming there. Let's go, dude. Dude, I love it. Just when I think I can't love Sami Zayn any more than I do, then he does some shit like that. Dude, incredible. Little subtle details like that, you know, taking the time to dress like that, to make a couple comments like that, to do the intro and do a little bit of Arabic or whatnot. Unbelievable, man. I'm always about the little details and things, and incredible, man. Fucking A, let's go. Main event, y'all. I appreciate every single one of y'all for hanging out. Here we are, main event. And then again, we'll have a couple hours off, and then I'll start prepping immediately, and we'll do the Stars and the Golden Knights at 5 p.m. Pacific time. All right, let's soak this in. Here we go. And this pay-per-view has been fantastic. I mean, up to this point, I feel that we're at like a 9. You know, and depending on what we, you know, have here, I don't know if we'll go down to an 8.5. I mean, if we have 5 good matches out of 7, it's got to be a 9 or a 9.5 overall, you know? So I'm very impressed with the last couple pay-per-views. Even the Puerto Rico pay-per-view was pretty solid. So let's go. No, now they're doing the Olay. I love it. Here we go. This is the Canadian crowd, the Puerto Rico crowd, the Wales crowd. You know, at some point you got to show and that you're here. Wow, look how many people they crammed into that fucking bitch. Oh my gosh. Imagine how much money they made. They got some princes over there that got all the money. Yeah. I mean, who doesn't like Sammy? You know, Sammy might have not been anyone's like number one. Hell, Sammy might not be in your top 5 or your top 10. You know what I mean? But I think with this whole bloodline run, he's gained a lot more respect and it's elevated his career, you know, and he deserves it. You know, instead of just being a mid-card guy, you know, his whole career, you know what I mean? It's nice for him to be able to get a little bit of spotlight. Well deserved. And obviously he's great on the mic and he's great in the ring. And that's what I look for. I look for guys that are great on the microphone first and then great in the ring. Anyone can be great in the ring. Not many are great on the mic. Damn, Sammy is, dude, I'm telling you, Sammy dressing up in that white and then obviously speaking that intro and that, dude, that took those fans, they were like, oh, they were not expecting that one bit. Unbelievable, man. See, that's it's just amazing when you can see underdogs get love. Bryan Danielson getting the love, you know. Sami Zayn getting the love. Oh yeah. Well, obviously, you know, the going up in the circuits together. Back in the day, Sammy used to wear a mask. I mean, obviously, you know, you probably already know that. If you go back and look at Sammy's old stuff, you know, he didn't even wrestle like this. He had a mask that he was wearing. And I've seen photos of Kevin Owens hella young too, like 15. You know, and that's why, you know, the relationship is so good. And that you know, you got to think out of guys that have wrestled each other more than anyone else, it might be Sammy and Kevin that have wrestled each other or with each other more than anyone on the roster. That's why they're so good together. I love it too. I love it too. And obviously, if Solo was by himself, he wouldn't be as big as he is either. It shows you how factions can really change things. You know, if you end up having a faction and it gets over, you know, it elevates your career tenfold. Let's go, baby. I like Solo's bloodline gear. It's got the bloodline on the back near the above the butt, you know, kind of like on the waistband. He's got cool ring attire. I like that. It looks good. It's a good look. Obviously, everything's going to be black and red or white and red for a majority of their clothes. I think we'd be more shocked if Sammy and Kevin win clean rather than if something happens with Jimmy J or Solo and then they prevent, you know, Roman getting the belt or unintentionally hit a teammate and then cause Sammy or KO to win. It's going to be very interesting to see if we have a run-in or, you know, if there's some type of miscommunication or if it ends up being clean. If it ends up being clean, a clean win by either one, I think that would probably be the most shocking thing ever, right? Because I don't think anyone thinks it's going to be clean. There you go. Blind tag. Oh, crazy camera angle there. There we go. Sound like an action camera. You know, it'd be kind of cool if there was a way to be able to have like a headband camera, you know, where you could actually see the perspective of the wrestler. I know that's probably futuristic shit that I'm talking about, you know what I mean? But if they were able to do something like that, where you could actually, you know, if someone was already wearing like a headband and they just like implemented that, you know what I mean? How cool would that be? Like you know, point of view of the wrestler. That would be insane. It's like I remember when I was a kid, when I was playing like Tecmo Bowl and Super Tecmo Bowl, I was like, oh, and then, you know, seeing like Joe Montana Sports Talk Football Madden, and I was like, oh, wouldn't it be dope if, you know, you had that view at some point, some like VR shit. So far, so good. The crowd is into it. I mean, it's kind of hard not to get invested in this fucking Bloodline story, because even if you don't give a shit about any of the members of the Bloodline or KO or Sammy, obviously it's entertaining. But I mean, as a wrestling fan in general, if you don't like any of those Bloodline members or KO or Sammy, I mean, are you even a wrestling fan? I mean, you got to like somebody, you know, out of the feud. Yeah. I'm just happy that he's good on the mic finally. You know what I mean? He finally is like living up to the Roman Reigns, you know, persona. You know, if they're going to be able to give him the belt and give him all this, you have to be good on the mic. And God, he was so terrible. You know, that's why I always like Seth and Dean Ambrose better. But I appreciated his size and, you know, being kind of the enforcer, you know, of the Shield back in the day. I will always love the Shield. That's, you know, I'm always going to, you know, appreciate what they brought into WWE at the time. So at least I can appreciate that, you know. But if it wasn't for this Bloodline gimmick, would we have been able to see Roman like this on the mic? And I don't think so. So, I mean, like I said, everything happens for a reason, but elevated Roman, elevated Solo, definitely elevated the Usos' legacy overall, put them on another pedestal. Oh, yeah. And even though Solo might be the least liked out of all the Bloodline members or KO or Sammy, I mean, he's got a lot of potential, you know. So far, pretty electric pay-per-view, huh? Let's go. Really happy we got this. And happy Asuka got had her moment, too. Let's go. Well, we see another belt change. The Shield's definitely made faction a thing again. Well, Vince, you already knew, he hated factions. You know what I mean? He loved the big guys, but it shows you in wrestling to be able to take your career to the next level, being a part of a team, whether it be 3 members or more, it's huge, especially, you know, with all the, you know, different stipulations and the matches that you can do together against each other. You know, anytime you end up having a faction, there's so much storyline that can build with that, you know, so it's weird for Vince to be so old school, but again, he sees WWE in his vision. But I'm always going to be a faction guy. And at first, when they first created and started, I was like, wow, these guys have potential to be, one of the best factions person for person ever. And I, obviously you had Hogan, Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash, obviously with NWO as far as like, as far as career attributes and career, achievements. Those were probably the best, for person, Hall, Nash, Hogan. But now, since, we've seen their careers, kind of come to an end, rest in peace, Scott Hall. I love you. You're my dog. But now you see with Dean Ambrose, a.k.a. John Moxley, Seth Rollins, and Roman, what they've done. They've surpassed Hogan, Hall, and Nash as probably the most successful faction of 3 members or more individually, person for person, than any faction ever. I don't know if we've ever seen this type of success out of a trio. I mean, obviously we've seen like New Day and a few others have some amazing runs, but every person in the Shield has been like a world champion, has been at the top of the pinnacle, deservedly so, for many reasons. Ambrose is the bruiser, John Moxley, Seth is the all around, Roman is the big guy, But even at Evolution's high point, they weren't bigger than the Shield. You know what I mean? Like we knew who they were, and then it was cool to be able to see those people like Triple H and Flair and Batista and Randy Orton. But I don't think at their high point they were never as big as the Shield's high point. Yeah. Well, obviously NWO and DX, you know what I mean? NWO Black and White, NWO Wolfpack, and of course Lenny D will say Bullet Club, and we'll definitely throw the Bullet Club in there as well. But for the Shield, I mean, for individual success, it's not like one guy ended up being heavyweight champ and the others were like IC or just like tag champs. Like every single one has done like amazing things in their career, like more than maybe anyone ever anticipated for those 3. We knew that maybe one would have success, possibly 2, but all 3, and obviously the one that was the worst, Roman, is having one of the, obviously biggest pushes that we've ever seen in wrestling. Oh, yeah. BWO, Blue World Order, the Ministry of Darkness, the Corporation. What you know about the Blue Meanie, Big Stevie Cool? Yeah, stomp the shit out of him. Oh, I know. Yeah, Bullet Club's been along for a long time. But I put Bullet Club as like an older faction because they've been around for so long. That's more like old school, like NWO, DX, Bullet Club. Like, they're farther back. You know what I mean? I don't really put Bullet Club as like a recent faction. For me, that's like old, like NWO, DX kind of faction, I mean, my favorite faction now is Judgment Day. I did like Undisputed Era a lot, but they fucked that up. That's when NXT used to be better than Raw and SmackDown. The black and yellow brand, when it was actually like insane. Like it was the best thing going. Heck yeah, love it. Well deserved for Asuka, even if it's only temporary. I know it means a lot, and she's not the type to complain either, Just kind of wait my turn. Nice. Sit down power bomb. 1, 2, 2. Frog splash. 2. Yeah, he did. If they just would have left it to Shawn Michaels and Triple H, everything would have been good. God, I love these old school wrestling toys. Oh, Superman punched KO. 2. $60. Let's get to a hundo.
To be the greatest of all time. Glory, power.
Stunner. Spear. Oh, Kevin sold that really well.
Tribal chief answers with a spear that nearly put KO in half. They are rumbling Solo to the corner. Sammy to the corner.
Oh, here we go.
Trying to make it their big tags. Critical point of the matchup.
Get in there, Sammy.
Saying the quicker of the two, beating Solo to the punch and saying he's teed off. Sammy, springboard off the power rope. Solo to the top.
Oh, baby. Big Papa Pump. Holla if you hear me. I always get nervous when I see people do that because I think they're going to fall on their neck and break their neck. You know, I mean, I've seen so many like close calls. It always makes me nervous, like wondering if they got enough air, if they're going to flip all the way over or if they're going to land, and if the other guy on the outside will catch them in time so they don't seriously injure themselves. You know? And I know a lot of the guys that actually do the move, you know, they do it because they're comfortable, you know. But still, you just never know. You slip a little bit, you don't get enough air, you don't turn over in time, you land on your neck or your head. Ugh, I don't know. But it always looks awesome when they complete the move. Yeah, I mean, obviously, we already knew this was going to be a 9 or a 10. 9, 9.5, or 10. It just depends on if we get a belt change or what we get. I mean, of course, the ending more than likely will either be like, what? Or, you know, or it'll be like a shocker. Or maybe it won't be a shocker. It'll be, oh, we thought that this might happen. So we'll see if it ends up being clean or not. And if we do get any interference. Bye. Exploder. Exploded. Give him a haluva kick. Bow. What you know about that? Roman at the end. Ah.
Roman made the save in the matchup, and that was a tag. The official wanted to allow this matchup. Zayn almost ran into the referee.
Oh, spear on the ref. Look at Paul Heyman's eyes. Yeah, you already know Usos are going to either help them win or prevent them from winning. I mean, it's just like with DX and NWO and Bullet Club. Anytime you're a heel faction, there's always going to be some fuckery, that comes around, right? It's not only it's never going to be clean. It's always going to be by whatever it takes to win, and usually cheating. A Sammy, Super Sammy punch. It's like Super Saiyan, like Dragon Ball, but different. Super Sammy punch. Oh. Oh. Oh, there we go. Kevin Owens with a spear. Love it. Now, you already knew this was going to be a 10. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, anything of the ending could fuck it up and have it go down 0.5 or whatever. But, I mean, they have this for main event for a reason. Because either you're rooting for the bloodline to win and you love the Usos and Solo and Roman, or you're rooting for them to lose. Kind of like the Dallas Cowboys. You know what I mean? It's like you either watch them to make fun of them and hope that they lose, or you're a hardcore fan and you're hoping they win. You either love them or you hate them.
What does KO have in store for the tribal chief?
Oh, here we go. Usos. Jimmy and Jay. Jimmy and Jay. Hit you in the head. Jimmy and Jay. How does that feel? Super kick to your face. Bow.
Sammy's outnumbered. Super kick. Super kick.
Oh, super kick to Solo. You knew that spot was coming, but we thought that would be against Roman. Here we go. No more day ones. Beat his ass. The beginning of the end. The cracks in the bloodline. Let's get Usi. Let's go. And then what would be the most surprising thing? He super kicks his brother instead of super kicking Roman. Bang, baby. Woo! Let's go. Let's get Usi. Yeah. Now he's got to super kick his brother, super kick Paul in the face, super kick everybody. All right, Jimmy and Jay. Like, what, that's why the factions are so cool, because you just never know what angle that you're going to go. Are you going to help someone? Are you going to screw someone over? Are you going to be a faction in a team? Will you end up beefing and start having a rivalry? And if you build it up the right way, it's going to be super special, when you have those matches at that point, The cracks in the bloodline. Stunner! Bang! Haluva kick. Hello! Let's get Usi. Okay, 10. I mean, 20 out of 10. I mean, the cracks. I mean, and obviously having Sammy and Kevin keep the belts is the right thing. There's no, there's no point of having Roman, with the belts, but it's for storyline. You know what I mean? Like, they're never going to win the belts, but just to be able to see if the bloodline will crack a little bit more with Jimmy and Jay. And awesome, man. Great writing. I don't know who the hell is writing for the bloodline. If they got 2 or 3 people writing for it, and everyone's kind of, bouncing ideas off each other. But man, whether you love it or you hate it, the whole storyline behind the bloodline and the people that are facing them is just fantastic, dude. I mean, this is what we needed as fans. We've been waiting a long time for actual good storyline and good matches to follow after the story or during the story. Let's go, man. So 5 out of 7. So what would we say the pay-per-view is? Normally we don't have 5 out of 7. Are we going to say that this is a 9, 9.5, or 10 pay-per-view? Remember, we never have 5 good matches out of 7, and we had a potential 6 out of 7 we could have had. If we could have had that Ripley match turn into like an 8, we could have had something really, really special. But even with that being said, 5 out of 7 I've never seen before. I know, man. It's awesome. And I'm glad we got to watch that all together. I know it's early, having to get together, but this was worth it. Imagine all the people that didn't watch this live and they're just reading about it on like Twitter or Facebook or Instagram. Like, you're missing out, bro. Like, you got to watch this when it's happening. It's like trying to watch the highlights on fucking Instagram or Twitter after the football game's over. It is not the fucking same. Incredible, man. Yeah. Anything from a 9 to a 10, but there's no 8.5s or 8s. Not when you have 5 good matches out of 7. But 6 out of 7 could have been, like one of the first 10s that we've seen. But some of the matches were fantastic. Belt changes. I mean, this one could have been better. This one was fantastic. This was the sleeper. This was the worst match. This was one of the best matches besides that last one right here, right? This was fantastic. This one was a 1-minute squash job, so that disappointed. This one was good because we got Asuka to win. I mean, a lot of positives. This one could have been better, but it wasn't terrible. And then this one shouldn't be as low as it is, but it was just either Natty was hurt or they did the squash match type thing. Like they did the Brock Lesnar vibe on that match. But overall, a nice solid 9.5, 10, man. Incredible. Well, fucking A, huh? That was incredible. I'm going to go, obviously sign out here, and then we'll be back at 5 p.m. for the Vegas Golden Knights and the Dallas Stars. So I'll spend some time with Paisley. It's 1:15 now, and we'll be live around probably 4:45, 5 o'clock Pacific time if you guys want to hang out for that. I appreciate you guys very, very much. Thank you to everyone that donated, that commented. What a fun night, man. What a little fun morning/afternoon. Really, really enjoyed it. And lots of memorable moments in this particular pay-per-view. As we go back and look at some of the matches, happy with how everything kind of turned out. And of course, you're not going to ever get a perfect pay-per-view. It's just not going to happen, especially with wrestling fans like us. But wow, incredible, huh? Well, I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. And again, I'll be live here in another 3.5 hours, and we'll get right back at it for some NHL playoff hockey, Dallas Stars, Vegas Golden Knights at 5 p.m. on ABC. So I love you, appreciate you, and I'll see you guys in a few hours. And I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out. Gang.